this? So I
Oh, well, crap. That didn't work. Welcome to the program, everyone. I had a video ready to go for you guys, and it didn't work. Don't worry. We're very professional here. Well, I put the wrong one up. Hold on. We are going to play it because this is it's a walk back through memory lane. And I was going to play the epic moment when Dave and I discovered, with the help of the chat, the infamous Fiverr sonogram. Here we go.
She's not looking for a ring or anything classy. All she needs is for someone to care to ask her to go steady. She's so ready for that leather jacket. She will hack it with internet manipulations and a variety pack of stipulations. She said, don't try to deny it. You clearly faked it. I'm pregnant, maybe. It's not a Fiverr, babe. It's not a Fiverr, babe. It's not a Fiverr, baby.
never saw this. What are we seeing here? What's this? HEVN? Is this Are you seeing this? I'm literally. I can't unsee it. What the hell is that? Some babies, but there's some ladies from a blog. I'm not some slob. I'm on the job.
It says Fiverr.
Oh no! Oh, hold on. Okay, hold on. This is why you do it live.
I'm not some slob, I'm on the job. Truth deep diver. She hired Fiverr. She hired Fiverr. She hired
Oh, look at that. It's a perfect match. That's it. That's what it is. That's it. That's what it is. That's it. That's what it is.
No, I mean, Meg, what? Unbelievable that we just figured this out.
Unbelievable is correct. Where did we go? There we are. So that was a lot of fun. And oh my goodness, we are live right now on my channel. We're also live on Dave's channel. And welcome back, everybody. The band is back together. We got Bruce the Moose, we got Dave Neal, and me, and we might have more friends popping in later. Daver, good times. Where's the Daver t-shirts? You should be wearing one today, Dave.
I know. I don't even buy my own merchandise. Well, how should I expect other people to? Well, I got a missed call from you last night. Then I got a text message from somebody asking if they wanted me to if they wanted me to have them go to the courthouse. And I was like, what happened? I found out backwards.
I know. It's been crazy. I mean, I couldn't believe it. It happened while I was live last night with Tug on his channel, and we were talking about the Hales case, and this dropped, and we did go over. We were freaking out. I was flipping out. I can't even believe.
You surprised?
I'm surprised, but not. I'm surprised that it happened because I was losing faith in the justice system, but I did expect that she should face this justice, and I still had some hope that it was going to happen. I did.
Yeah, people said, well, it's been too long, it's not going to happen. But every source I heard from, like almost a year ago, someone inside the building said, someone we knew was getting drinks with someone, everyone gets drunk and talks, right? And they were saying, no, it's not if she gets indicted, it's when. And then all this time went by, and I'm like, I don't know. And then last week I hear from another source that's like, oh yeah, they're like buttoning it up. They're crossing the T's and dotting the I's. And I was like, all right, guys, it's happening.
And then did you see Rachel Mitchell late last week in the press conference say, stay tuned? And I was like, oh, big talk. Like, yeah, I don't believe it when I see it, And then literally she knew that day that it was happening because that was the day that the grand jury was meeting, May 1st, same day. That was the same day that Rachel Mitchell made those statements.
Rachel Yeah, that stay tuned is like when you're a kid and you're like begging your mom for like a Christmas present and she's like, just wait and see. Like
Yeah.
quit, we'll have to see what
see.
Santa does. And you're like, all right, I'll shut up. That's a yes.
Oh, I even got new hair for this big announcement. So we've got
Wow.
a 7-count indictment, and I have new hair. Everyone in the chat has noticed. I did. I got a bunch of blonde put in the front. They call this a money piece, by the way,
I
which
love it.
sounds kind of dirty to me. But I got sick and tired of looking at my grays coming in on the edges. So I was just like, hey, I know, blonde me.
It's almost enough blonde to start working at Fox News. You're getting there.
I will never be there again, though, because that ruins your hair. You got to be careful with the bleach. You got to be careful. You got to just easy on the bleach.
So we're gonna see you in a couple of weeks, right?
Vegas, baby.
Woo.
Absolutely. I'm going to be there. And what a party this is going to be. So it just turned out that I happen to be able to go this year, and my friend is DJing for Steve's party. And so my girlfriend, who I've known since high school, Bridget, she's DJing for the party. And she was like, hey, do you want to go to Vegas with me? And I was like, well, of course I want to go to Vegas. And it just turned out that we could go. And one of our other high school friends is treating us to an amazing vacation. She's taking us out there and putting us in a fabulous suite. We're going to have a great time. And it's going to be like the greatest party ever because we have a 7-count indictment felony, 7 felonies for Laura Owens. If you didn't get the news, she's going down.
So you followed court stuff, for a long time. So give us like your thoughts on how big this is.
I've never seen anything like it. First
Perjury.
of all, you know that my sister is a lawyer. You guys know Stephanie. Stephanie, when this first happened and the judge referred her for prosecution, I was like, Stephanie, have you ever seen anything like this? She goes, I've heard about it. I've never seen it. Everybody's always scared of it. Like everyone is like, oh God, the judge could do this, could do that. We've never seen it. Never. And she's been a practicing attorney for more than 20 years. There are 2 cases right now that I've been working on, this one and the What the Hales case, where things that have happened I've never seen before. I don't know if there's something in the water or there's attorneys or there's something's going on, but I've never seen any of this.
Yeah, it's
like
the dry air.
before.
It's that Phoenix dry air. It just leads. But she was this way in San Francisco with a complete opposite weather. So who knows? But you know what I say? It's like in the fall of, what was it, 2023 when we were covering this case? It was like a police chase, right? We're using all of our resources, but we're kind of like, fumbling around, looking through people's backyards. And then when you came along, that's like when they unleashed the attack dogs, and then you just get her by the legs. And we needed that. We needed a female bulldog to
well,
to
I'm glad I was able to fill the void, even though at first Reddit was very skeptical. They were like, not her, dear God, not her. But I think I did all right. I think we helped push that narrative along. I do have a new article up on PJ Media today. My big comeback over there was this story. When I put it in last night and I called it, my editor replied immediately and she goes, "You've been waiting for this your whole life." That's what it feels like.
Yeah,
it really feels like that.
I like to read other people's opinions, and there was one person that felt bad that she may go to jail, and I'm complicated. Like I'm gonna feel bad that anyone goes to jail, and then I have to remember all of these you have to like really remember all of the damage she's caused. And I think she actually wants to go to jail. I think she'd rather go to jail for the story than do a plea deal. That's my thought right now, because a plea deal, she would have to admit fraud. And I talked about this in my video this morning, but speaking to lawyers, they say, man, if you're charged with fraud, that's like the scarlet letter for life. Like you'll never have credibility with anything. Not that she did, but I think she'd rather put the outfit on and have a story to tell.
I think so here's the article, you guys. You can go and click on it for me. We want to push it to the top. Right now it's trending at number 3. We need to get that trending to number 1. Click, share on social media. And by the way, this is probably the best coverage of this story you're going to see, because as you know, we here in the independent media, Dave Neal, myself, others like Bruce and Lauren Knighty. We've been doing the real work on this case. We've been doing the real investigative work that the mainstream press refused to do. And they didn't just ignore this story, they refused to tell it. The Sun is, and I wrote this in here today, the Sun is the biggest loser of all because they ran with a fake story. They slandered an innocent man, and they should be lucky he doesn't sue them because I think he'd have a pretty good case against what they did to him by not fact checking any of her allegations. Hideous. It was hideous behavior. So this article is probably one you're going to want to read. It is definitely one to share. It's got everything in here. Not only Rachel Mitchell's comments from last week. If you haven't heard those, they're very short. I'll play it for you.
At the point, I mean, we are still actively investigating it. What I will simply say is stay tuned.
Boy, and before that clip, they were laughing when she was like, I get an email from when Rachel Mitchell said, I get an email about this every day. I was the proudest dad. I was like, oh, you guys are annoying the hell out of a county prosecutor. It's like, oh, she knows my name.
Well, you know, it's great because this was one of the few cases where the audience was actually able to safely participate in letting someone know what they wanted, right? In a lot of the cases that I cover, there's no elected official to really contact. And I always tell people, don't contact anybody. Because, you know, that could be taken as harassment, blah, blah, blah. But when you have an elected official, someone who's already been given the okay by a judge, she absolutely is the right person to get a letter writing campaign. And I wanted it to be like that Miracle on 34th Street scene where they're just dumping piles and piles of letters on her desk, you know, and she can't see over them. That was my
well, yeah, you get full
vision.
credit. You get full credit for the templates and for putting that all together. I mean, a lot of people just they need a little bit of a ringleader to know what to do because, you know, it doesn't feel productive. But like you said, you know, a hard copy that is taking up space on somebody's desk. That is
absolutely
real. And, you know, like we knew already that she was a tough, you know, she had come after people for perjury before or you know, extortion, the Trevor Bauer case. But, you know, it's just that everyone tells you people don't get charged with these crimes. And my whole thought all along is it's 2025. This is going to happen in so many more believable ways. Like right now, like Laura Owens is stealing ultrasounds. Chat GPT, the AI is going to be scrubbing ultrasounds off the internet and creating new babies like you have never seen before. Like this is going to happen. Yeah. And there needs to be consequences. Consequences for lying about medical stuff.
This is that canary in the coal mine moment, right? Where a person who might have thought they were going to get away with this might change their mind and not do it because Laura Owens is facing serious jail time. I did the math. I know that on the ridiculous end, she's facing up to 33 years. She's not going to get anywhere near that. But on the very minor level, she's facing a minimum of 5 years. Now they can make a deal. They can drop some of the charges if she makes a deal, but I have a feeling she will not. I think she will fight this all the way down. She's going to plead not guilty. If we know anything about Laura Owens, it's that she avoids taking any responsibility for any of this. She refuses to take to say she's guilty of any of this. So I think she's going to go down in flames. She's going to plead not guilty. We're going to have a trial. And what are we saying, Bruce? Is the tech van going to be there? Because I know I'm going to be there.
Oh, heck yeah. Did you guys expect 7 indictments? I mean, I expected maybe 1 or 2.
I was hopeful that there would be way more than 1 or 2 because there is so much. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would have had no idea. But I'm not entirely surprised. It's like seeing all of this happen and it play out the way it did. Sometimes things just happen the right way. It sounds cheesy, but I have that mantra, like, isn't it great that everything's working out? And you have to believe in the solution that you fight for. And if you just listen to everyone saying they'll never charge her, then we just say, well, I guess we'll go fuck ourselves then. But you know, everyone did the work. And look, I mean, she has nothing to lose by going to trial. And I don't see anyone convincing her to admit to fraud. From what I've been told, if she takes a plea deal, it would be like a deferred jail time, which means if she goes back on her, like she can't just say, I'm pleading, and then a week later go on Medium saying, I only said that because, I think they would then arrest her on the spot.
It would be like a deferred sentence would be like a probation period. So if you break any laws in that time, you go right to jail. And so
there could be mandatory requirements as well. Maybe counseling or things like
counseling.
that.
You know what? I really do believe, though, that the only thing that will stop her is actually jail. I think she needs jail. I think she needs to go to jail right away. I think she needs to sit around and think about what I've done time.
Right to jail, right away.
Yep.
So I googled does Maricopa County all-female correction facility have a horse program? And it doesn't. I think they do pickleball in the courtyard, but no horse. So
no horse. Maybe she could start that as therapy, horse therapy.
Yeah.
Look, whatever it takes to rehabilitate the lives of people who've got their lives off track, I'm all for it, including horse therapy.
If they can find any horses that lied under oath that are also in prison, maybe they could do like a joint rehab together.
I do want to tell you guys, I have a new feature on the show. It is pinned to the top of the chat. It is called supertip.gg/Megan Fox. You can send a super tip that speaks in an AI voice. There are several voices for you to choose from. There are a couple that just came in. We've got $5 from Sticky Widget that says, now you can send them just like a super chat where it'll come up just like on YouTube. Thanks for the $5. It says, my first super tip. It's just like a regular tip, but well, way more super. And remember, just the tip. What's great about this is that super tip only takes 10%, whereas YouTube takes 30%. Now, that doesn't mean you don't want to send, if you like to send super chats, do it. If you don't, and you want to try super tip, you can do fun voices like my dad's, for instance. Vice Baby sent one.
What is up, Fox Mother?
That's my dad's voice. And there's also Pregnancy Faker in there. Douche Canoe is on the way. Douche Canoe should be available soon. Speaking of Douche Canoe, we haven't heard from him, have we?
How convenient. His internet's been down since he's taken loss after loss. I mean, his loss kink is probably edging him right now. As he's bound and gagged by the big L.
Yeah, he definitely does seem to have like some kind of kink when it comes to losing, because that's what he always does. By the way, I didn't even get to report that they appealed. The appeal was denied, and then another reconsideration was put in to reconsider the appeal. And not only did they deny that, but they added another like 36 grand on top of what she already owes Clayton Echard. She now owes him just under $200,000. And that bad news for her came right before this indictment. It's been
now, let me ask you this. Given the news of these indictments, do you guys think it's more or less likely that they will take the original paternity case to the Arizona Court of Appeals?
Oof. If David Jingris doesn't disappear into that good night, I would be very surprised. I'll just say that.
Yeah, and anything he might have said or done with Laura will now be used against him, if she decides to turn on him. You just struggle to see what play she has left. I have to say, though, and again, this is for the audience, the commenters, she was undefeated up until fall of 2023, right? And then I've never seen someone go from being so powerful and undefeated to take so many losses in a row. She has not won a dang meaningful thing since the Bachelor Nation and the subreddit, and since all of us got involved. It's like for Jingris to think he could just come in and right the ship, he really only made it worse. None of the fraud I found would have happened, because I was pleasantly ignoring her to a point, and then he forced the hand of really digging into it. So talk about, he should be paying her for the damage he did to her, but that's a different story.
Didn't we tell him? We told her this, though, ages ago, many times. He's not doing you any favors, and you should be, you could probably sue him for ineffective counsel. I mean, the things he did in public absolutely were horrifying. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. How do you view it, Bruce?
It's very disturbing, the things he's done through the entire course of this case. I mean, I have a whole video series on all his tweets, but the two things that sort of blew my mind were, number one, he basically says he did this motion for reconsideration because of his chat with Rachel Juarez, which I think is just kind of bizarre, because you either think you have a good legal basis for an appeal or you don't. And it shouldn't
Right.
be about whether you feel insulted by being torn apart by Rachel Juarez on Reality Steve's podcast. And
Which
then
was
the other thing in that
amazing.
interview that blew my mind was when he said, you know, so Rachel Mitchell has all these subpoenas going on, and then he's like, allegedly, and now here
Yeah,
we are. So looking back
that
in
was funny.
hindsight, that was kind of an amazing admission.
You know, to give Jingris credit, at least he's entertaining on camera versus Laura. And I'm so adverse to like shitting on someone's creativity, but she's, I mean, he had to like talk over her to protect her from exposing how bad she, you know what I mean? Like he was doing these podcasts with her and everyone's like, oh, he's talking. And it's like, she had nothing. You can tell when you're like, when someone else has nothing in the tank, and it's just, it's abusive. It's abusive by her family, by him, and by anyone who's enabling. And if she had some real serious like physical disorder where you could tell she was mentally ill, you would be like, all right, she's just a crazy person. But she's just mentally ill enough on the inside, my opinion, that she gets away with so much. But like, you really start looking into those eyes and you start to see what's going on. And is it the mother? And this is where you get into like the psychological. Is it the mother putting her on medication? Like, what sort of meds did the mother have her on? Or was she on the meds because she was that nuts to begin with? And no, and I'm not surprised. I didn't think we'd see any charges for the mother, but I also would have kind of hoped that because she's, for all we know, we're looking at Laura as this evil person. Mother might be worse. Mother might be worse here, and he's kind of like using her daughter's youth to sort of punish these men in ways that the mother can't.
Well, I don't doubt that, and I think that there definitely is a parental issue here. We've always talked about that. This is, somebody who has been definitely coddled for her entire life and kept from consequences. You don't want to do that as a parent. You don't. You just don't. Let's go ahead and take a look at the indictment, shall we? Because we do have it here. Let me get this up on the screen. I've got, there we go. All right. And in the meantime, and by the way, there are super chats coming in both for you, Dave, and for me here on your channel. We can read a couple of them so we don't get too behind. Dave, this one's yours.
Everyone be quiet. Mama's show is on. Thanks, Tiffany. Tiffany 2 Trill. That's a MILF. Tiffany 2 Trill. I'm messing around.
And Patrick W, thanks for the 5. Let's swallow the facts and give birth to the truth. Yes. And PNW Mama Bear, thanks for the 50. Huge super chat. This is for you guys. Never giving up. Hair is on point, Megan. Always gorgeous. I wish Jeff was here to celebrate with us. Thank you. Yes.
Amazing.
Oh, Jeff would be over the moon about this. Can you imagine? Yeah. Cheers to Jeff. He'd be thrilled by this news and blown away by it. He's got
a front row seat. He's been in there every step of the way.
It's true. It's true. Wender Bender, member for 14 months, says, hi, Megan, Dave, and Bruce. So excited for these gentlemen. Yeah, me too. And equality. Can we please raise a glass for Jeff, Legal Vices, on whose channel I first learned about this whole case? That's right. Cheers, Jeff. Wish you were here celebrating with us because, wow. What a day. I told somebody I was texting related to this case, I was telling them, this is better than cocaine. I don't know what kind of high this is, this Laura Owens was indicted thing, but I haven't felt this good since 1996.
You should have seen my group chat last night with the
I
boys
bet.
were pretty out. And you know what's funny is I started reporting on this, and I'm at a baseball game. It's like the AA or AAA, Nashville Sound. So I'm at the baseball game, and it's like the 7th inning stretch, and they're like I'm like trying to make a reel in the background, like they're doing the wave, and it's like chaos here at the game, and everyone's like, people around me are like, "What's this dad doing?" Making a video in the outfield grass. But yeah, it was you can't make this up. And I was told that this indictment came down actually on May 1st, my birthday, and we're just learning about it. I don't know if there's an actual date yet.
The date is in this document.
It is?
Well, I mean, the May 1st date is in this document. I think we have to wait to see when the actual
grand jury.
But it's wild because the first time she sent me a cease and desist was we were on our baby moon. My wife's 12 weeks pregnant. And then this news comes out yesterday on my son's first birthday.
Wasn't it his birthday? I was just going to ask you, wasn't it Augie's birthday?
We're at his birthday. We're cheering. And it's like, and to think like, and I wasn't trying to pull time away from the birthday, but like Jingris sends me this threatening letter for the baby shower. So to see my wife go from pregnant, not showing, to publicly pregnant, dealing with all of this. But again, giving me full permission to say, you got to fight this, because whether people, agree with this or not, when you're married, your family, I got to protect the family first. And if she says, no, this is just terrible for us, get out. Maybe that's what I would have done. But she's never said that. But it was heavy, right? And then to think that a whole year of a child goes by and it's finally getting some justice. It feels slow and fast at the same time.
MG Law, you're killing me. She's got no safe harbor now. Ah!
Accurate.
Accurate. So accurate. And we got our first super tip in pregnancy faker voice. Are you ready for this? I'll make it big so you can see it.
Everyone be quiet. My show is on.
Oh boy.
Thank you for that. By the way, that $5. Appreciate that. We also have one from Ratsass67 that says, let's see, women prisoners can or do bury the bodies of John and Jane Doe babies in our Potter's Field. It's sad, but effective remediation. Yikes. It is sad. Good gracious. And then a sticky widget.
Luckily, I don't think it's hard to get rid of fake
John,
twins.
she's not covering my case.
My case fell down. She's not covering my case.
What are you doing here, Megan? Covering a different case? What the heck?
I know. How dare I? How dare I? That was really funny. I'm going to play that again.
My case fell down. John, she's not covering my case.
Oh my God. I love the super tip system so much. I'm having so much fun with it already. Like I'm just so much fun. If you guys want to visit super tip, go to the top of the pin chat. There's a pin chat there, and you can see it in the chat all the way at the top. You just go to that link and you can check out the different voices that you can use. Also, Liz Bird, thanks for the huge 50s. Has been a long time coming. After 3 years of fighting, I finally got some of my back pay. Now signed up as a member, and here's to catching alive in the first time in forever. Celebrations all around. Oh, excellent. It's been a good week for a lot of people. All right, let's get back to the indictment. Let's look at it. We got the state of Arizona versus Laura Michelle Owens. Holy cow. Indictment count 1, fraudulent schemes and artifices. Oh, I love the way this is worded. Count 2, forgery, a class 4 felony. We knew that she had done that. Count 3, perjury, a class 4 felony. And then you got 4 of those, 4 counts of perjury. And count 6, that's still perjury. Count 7, tampering with physical evidence, a class 6 felony. Now, I think we figured out what that evidence was. And I think it was the picture in the doorway of her that she submitted into court that they put up on the projector. In fact, I have evidence of that because I have it. Let me show you.
That's what you think it is.
I do.
Yeah, if you remember the testimony, I think somebody asks, what's this picture? And she says, that's me with my pregnant belly, or some quote like that.
Correct. And here it is. So in court, here's a picture that Alex Andrzejkos, my photographer, took during court. And it was that picture right there. And I believe we have information now that says the police or the investigators at the county attorney's office, I guess, took her devices, including one laptop and several phones. There were at least 5 devices taken from Laura Owens. They went through those devices, and I think that's how they have the information that we don't even have, Dave. Wrap your little head around that, Dave. There's information that's going to come out.
Imagine what they can. Dave's going to. Yeah.
There's information that's going to come out that we haven't even seen. And the reason why I think they put this in here is they have evidence that she doctored this photo. That's my guess. Dave's fainting. He needs a fainting couch.
I need a giant strong man to carry me back. I do declare this is news to me.
I mean, Dave, I know you and I have a special place for a certain person, Chase J. Jones. Imagine what they might be able to learn now.
I actually want to find out that Chase J. Jones is real. I want to know who this man is. I want to be friends with him. He's in her basement or something. I mean, we're gonna get. Explain to me if you know. I'm kind of an idiot here, but we're basically the grand jury is confidential. But once she gets charged, all the evidence that was shown to the grand jury, we're gonna get a hold of. Correct?
Well, there's 2 scenarios I can think of. There's only one scenario I can think of where we will see all the evidence, and that is, and I'm afraid to say it. If I tell her, maybe she won't do it. But I mean, if she goes to trial, we're going to get to see all the evidence. Let's just put it that way. If she goes to trial, the evidence is coming out. If she makes a plea, though, probably not. I think we will be able to get our hands on the warrant, though. I think we could probably get that now. Depending on whether or not that's been made public, but it should be. The warrant to search her devices in her home, that should be out there somewhere. So we will try and get a hold of that so we can see what exactly they were looking for and what it is that they took.
Well, I'm going to be forming a paparazzo company, and I will be live streaming the arraignment from my house. But what I need is to hire somebody to get a camera in the parking lot because I want to get that. I want to get that.
Did you know that there's a 24-hour arraignment camera in Maricopa County that is being sat on right at this very moment? They've been watching it for 24 hours. I don't have the link, but Bruce,
who's that?
You have people? It? I got people.
Nope.
I got people.
No, but now I want it.
This is what I know. I absolutely love the ecosystem that I'm not even aware of. Like my Discord, people are like, "Oh yeah, I got this info from Dave's Discord," and I'm like, "What's going on over there?"
What's happening?
Oh my gosh! Last night the Discord was lit. It went from 0 to 100 in about 5 seconds.
The Patreon spiked in people that are like, "All right, I'm coming back for the month. I gotta talk this thing out." Yeah.
This is going to be the greatest trial in the history of trials. I'm telling you, it's got to go forward.
I mean, I want to know, like, I planned on being in the van for the trial, but I also wish I could clone myself and be in the room. I just don't know if I can trust myself to keep my yap shut in the room. Like, I feel like I would start objecting to things. Like, I bring my gavel. They're like, you can't bring that through security. And it's like, but why? This is my gavel. All right, I'm going back to the van.
Oh my God. We've got another super tip coming in here from Spurgy. Thanks for the 10.
I just wanted a man of my own.
Well, that's so unfortunate.
The reason we're all here together is because of Clayton's super tip, but that's a different
that's a different
story.
That's
a different super tip.
An indictment. What?
So you think they've got you think they've got the apps that she was doing this on?
Yes, I do. I think that have. I think they have it all.
You don't think she tried to delete that from her phones?
It wouldn't matter. They did a Celebrate download. Are you kidding? When you get arrested, when you get indicted, they take your device and they celebrate it. They take everything, and it doesn't.
You're talking to me like I'm a crook, like I should know these things.
Dave,
you take my device, you're going to find photos of my baby and like rashes. There's just photos of rashes on my phone.
Dave, there's this case in Florida, the Stephen Stearns case, where the guy did 2 factory resets on his phone, and they still got all the bad stuff he did off his phone.
That's why Tom Brady did it right when they were coming after him. He just smashed his phone. Just smash it.
Well, yeah. So those people in the Karen Reed trial who all got rid of their phones before they were told to give him over. The Brian Higgins and
Right.
Brian Albert and all of those people. Brian Higgins cracked his SIM card, broke the phone, and disposed of it on a military base. And then he got a new one with a brand new number. I don't know how he managed, though, to destroy the cloud evidence, because that cloud evidence is there forever. You can't delete the cloud, even if you
You
try.
got to spray bleach into the clouds. You got to try to just get it.
With the
Listen,
aerosol
I'll tell
cans.
you this. Of all of the crazy stuff that we have going on, you want to know, the Chase J. Jones stuff was really interesting. Like the way they caught Chase J. Jones with the reverse two-factor authentication. That's got a special place in my heart. But the craziest evidence that the audience found, like Fiverr was great, right? But the craziest evidence is how they were able to take Mike Maricini's text messages and line those up with Laura Owens in a old video of her with her dad and John Stamos.
I don't think I saw that one.
Oh, yeah.
So there's text messages
Sounds
between
good.
Mike, and she goes, "Oh, those are all fake." And then they find this video of John Stamos being interviewed by Ron Owens. And in that video, Laura Owens is in the background on her phone. She's on her phone. The video pans over to the TV in the studio, and the TV
It has the
ticker
clock
tells
on the
you
wall.
the
Yeah.
time and date. And,
No.
it matches up with her texting Mike being
Oh
like,
my God.
"I'm in the room
How
with
is
John
this real?
Stamos." Like,
How is this real? How is this real? This is more evidence that we live
I
in
thought
a
it was Bob
simulation.
Saget, Dave. Was it Bob
oh,
Saget?
yeah, you're
Or
right.
Bob Saget.
was
Yeah,
Bob
it
Saget.
was
Yeah, you're
Bob
right.
Saget. Oh my God.
But it was
I
like,
mean-
that's the internet. You can't
Quality.
you know,
Uncle Jesse?
sorry.
Almost.
Oh, but that Celebrate extraction, they're going to catch everything. And they also took a laptop. And if she did her arts and crafts on that laptop, there will be footprints of it everywhere. Every time you make changes to a file, they have these, like, it saves it, in some file that you're not going to find. You don't know where it is. It's in some temporary file somewhere. Every time you make a change to something, there's an entire history of every keystroke, every mouse move, everything you've done on your computer is stored on your computer. And unless you're somebody like IT Goatee Brad, you're not going to know where it is, and you're not going to know how to get rid of it. It's just there. And so if whatever she did on that computer will have been saved. They've got everything, or they would not have made this. They would not have indicted her with 7 felony.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's and the only bummer I see is that she takes a plea because she realizes they have everything. I would actually, and this is just my own, I would be sad if it doesn't go to trial.
Oh, I would
Because
be super
because it's
sad.
like you watch the whole game so you can see the spike in the end zone, right?
Mhm.
And a plea deal just feels like she's getting let off easy. Now, do I care if she gets 20 years in prison? No. I mean, I think I mean this, I think she needs a good year, but I think obviously mental health help, but really, really take the time to sit in what you did. I just don't see that happening because of the mental health issues, but I would love for her to come out. Like we've always said, the most interesting thing she ever has to talk about is explaining why she did what she did.
I think the rational brain says a plea is the most likely option, but I've seen a lot of these criminal cases on YouTube and stuff, and the psychologists say that there's a fair number of them who just mentally would rather sit in jail or prison than deal with their mental health or their emotions. And I think
Plus,
that could take us there for this
Yeah, and
case.
she could use the same argument she used with why she fabricated the evidence with me. She could say, I was pregnant. They can never take that away from me that I tested 102, right? No one can ever take that away from her. They can say she lied about all these other things, but if she wants to argue, no, I was pregnant, that's the argument she can make. But obviously it's not going to work. But at least like she could take that to the grave if she wants. And like Bruce, you're right. People, when you're stuck in a lie like that, you have 2 choices to make. But if she makes a choice where she admits to it all, it really takes away her entire identity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, somebody in chat mentioned the Daybell case. I think that's very similar from a psychological perspective. Obviously, the cases are completely different. But in terms of her cherry picking evidence and saying, well, you weren't there to physically see it, so you can't say what happened. These type of arguments are very common.
Yeah, and people don't realize, I'm not going to out anybody, but we've got victims that haven't come forward of the non-intimate level. I've got people text messages today. I was talking to Megan before we went live, and I'm like, who's this person? I mean, like, I have so many text messages from people that have been victims of her. One, you know, there's evidence that, again, this will never make it into any of these trials. There's evidence that she fabricated an assault in San Francisco, lied to police. There's
oh God, think of all the witnesses. Who do you think think of the witness list. There could be people we don't even know about who were afraid to come forward, who were contacted by law enforcement, who are cooperating.
And again,
I'm pretty sure there are.
And then you have people like Sean, the contractor, who he's not getting any justice out of this other than knowing she's getting, you know, he was scammed, right? She kept on moving the goalpost on what contract work she wanted. The only thing he got out of it was owed her $100,000 and a mark on his contract, you know, his business. You know, that like they're in Mike Maricini, how much, I mean, honestly, how much money has he lost? It's got to be in the millions to not be able to go to those high pay tech firms in San Francisco for like the better part of a decade. And every time you get a job, you lose it because people, you know, they're risk adverse. It's like he deserves that time in your 20s and 30s where you make your money and for your family. He doesn't have that, you know. Greg, same thing.
Did you guys watch his court appearances? I just saw that those were on Schnitzel Ninja's channel, and I started watching them. She has those hearings with the contractor. Did you see that?
Oh, yes.
Bits and pieces.
Yeah, I didn't watch the entire thing, but, you know, I forget about that. I forget it because there's so much here, and she's done so many things to so many different people. You forget about the contractor and the hell that he was put through, and any
contractor is just going to want to please the client, but then the client keeps changing things. And this is her calling card, because she did this last week, right? She did this when she called the police on Easter on Clayton. She will get the cops to agree to something, and then she'll use it against them. She did it to the DA with me.
She did that this year on Easter?
She did it again. Bruce might know more about it than I do.
That was very recently, yes.
What for?
There was a police report filed. I'm not sure, but in the Medium blog post that goes along with it, she talks about it's very strange. It's sort of like she says, he violated the OOP, but I didn't report it at that time, but I'm reporting it now. And it's like, why did you wait? Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But it just seems like it's some sort of frenetic action in order to respond to something.
Which of her family is going to go to her trial? I mean, it's one thing to skip the other one, but will her dad, you know, I guess it'll probably just be her and her mom.
I have no idea, but I do have some questions about what's in this indictment. I thought you guys might have some insight into, and one of them was, we know about the sonogram, the false sonogram. We know all about that.
That's the sonogram she sent to Reality, Steve. The video.
Okay, the video.
Believe
this one right here. Count 3. I did not know this. This was not one we had on our radar. On or about October 25th, in regard to a material issue and believing it to be false, did make a false sworn statement, to wit, testifying in front of Judge Duty that she had not been intimate with anyone else since March 2022.
Oh, somebody's got some photos in the camera roll.
And that's almost 2 years. Like,
you
that's
dirty dog.
That's like 18 months. Oh, window.
Laura be fucking.
So they must have some evidence that she had another guy on the side during that time that she said she didn't, because of all the things she said to Judge Duty. This was not one I would have picked up on was perjury. I'm actually a little annoyed that the sonogram, the perjury about the sonogram, isn't in this count, because she also lied to him by saying that's a picture of our son in the Halloween costume, which clearly was not, because it was a fake sonogram, or it was her sister's or whatever, but she never had a sonogram of any babies.
Right. I mean, her lawyer said it was her sister's, so.
Is Laura going to claim she has an evil twin that did all this?
That would be the perfect soap opera plot
with a
line
goatee.
to finish this.
Yeah, just an evil, the burrito twin, the burrito sister.
Yeah. Twirly mustache.
You wouldn't believe this in a soap opera. You'd be like, look, I believe a lot of weird shit in soap operas, but this is too much.
This
Oh,
time window
man.
is interesting, right? Because it's after all the Greg Gillespie stuff, but it's sort of before, or it's sort of during or before the Clayton time period, right?
No, October 25th, 2023 is after the Sun article came out.
Yeah, so it's in the Clayton period, but it's way after the Greg Gillespie period. So there must be someone in between
In between.
that they're talking about here.
There's an in-
As far
an
as
in-between
intimacy
guy.
goes. Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Look, I think what this goes to show is Meg doesn't understand. She's a lady, right? She's a nice, proper lady with a good Christian haircut. She doesn't get that. Guys that go after some craziness. After midnight, you get into those Tinder DMs. Like Clayton's a class act. He can be scooping out some really beautiful. I mean, but when it comes to it, Laura was around. She answered the call. It happens. And again, if you get some attractive guy who's moved on with his life, let's put it this way: if I was single and I wouldn't tell the world. No way would I let anybody know. Like that's for your boys only, and they'll hold it against you for the rest of your life. So there's a reason why the Matts and the other people don't want to talk about this. It doesn't look good to them.
I wonder if the guys or the guy who escaped this fate, I wonder if he sits around wondering, why did he get lucky? Why didn't she try it on him? You know, I mean, she obviously didn't, or maybe she did. I don't know, but it doesn't seem like it went anywhere. If she did, there's no court cases filed, etc.
How wild would it be if Laura becomes the first prisoner back on Alcatraz?
I endorse that idea. And what coming to the stage is IT Goatee Brad. Brad,
Hello.
how's it going?
Doing all right. How are you guys?
What up?
We are good. I hope you're feeling better after your recent illness.
Oh, it's still hitting the house.
No, I hate that so much. There's that stomach bug going around is the absolute worst. My kids
Is that a microphone upgrade? You sound really nice.
I've been on this microphone since Megan helped me raise money for it over a year ago.
Oh, good for you. Look at that.
It's just that, you know, the dulcet tones of Brad, that deep bass. He just always sounds fantastic. That's what it is.
Being sick just takes you down half an octave.
Right.
That's what does it.
That's true. That's also true. So here's another one that's interesting in count 4. We can see some interesting stuff here. So in regard to material issue, believing it to be false on or about March 1st of 2024, she made a false statement claiming that sonogram image was hers during sworn deposition in violation of the law. So that would be during her deposition, whichever one.
Claiming the Planned Parenthood the Planned Parenthood sonogram is hers, and she only changed the smile title.
Mm-hmm. That's the ghost sonogram. Yeah.
This is the one that really gets me. That on March 1st, she also made a false sworn statement, a video clip of father touching pregnant belly.
Oh, they got that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know who is exactly responsible. Obviously, someone in the Justice for Clayton community. But the fact, and by the way, the fact that that video cut off at the neck and then you look on it on a desktop and it shows like nose down. I don't even know how that technology happens, but she was so flippantly getting away with stuff on her phone, and then it did like the Fiverr logo. That's virtually invisible till we look at it. And
now I can't not see it. It's amazing how that works. You know, so this is interesting because I also think this might be one of the things that was caught because of the devices they took and searched.
100%. Because when we went through the forensics on that video, it was very clear it had been edited in such a way, probably the start and end time and the removal of the audio.
Yeah.
And then re-rendered to a brand new file, because it was re-rendered to a brand new file like just before it was emailed out.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember going through and looking at all that.
But when did she make a statement about that? Was that part of her affidavit?
That would be a depo saying that.
Oh, she talked about that in the deposition.
Yeah, because that's the date of the depo, March 1st.
Yeah, you're right. Wow. Yeah. Wild time. And by the way, you know, she had a chance to get out of all of this. Her own lawyer tried to negotiate her admitting to it. I mean, I mean, she still would have been called a liar, but like, it's like, talk about the quicksand.
She should look. This is a lesson for anybody who's ever gotten them in over their head in a lie that you can't get out of. It's just better to come clean. Just come clean, because this is how you watch a civil case turn into a criminal case, and she's facing real jail time. She really is. Whether she'll get that or not remains to be seen, but she's certainly facing years in prison if she gets convicted of all these things. And this, let's see, there's another one here. This is the one that makes me think it's the picture that I brought up. On or about June 10th, that was the day of the trial, in regard to a material issue and believing it to be false, did make a false sworn statement claiming, "That's me, showing my pregnant stomach." And here we are at that very moment. That's me showing my pregnant stomach. And this is what leads me to believe this is the photo, because we know this was entered into the court. We were there. We watched it happen live. And we, Redditors, people who looked into this, Dave, you looked into this. This photo does appear doctored.
Yeah. And in the transcript of the court proceedings, we looked at it last night. It was at 33 minutes and 40 seconds or so. This video and another video are entered as exhibits A6 and 7. And that's the, those are the exact exhibits.
Yeah, and you know, when you see that without even looking at any forensics of it, you go, all right, you took this photo in front of a white door. That alone to me is like, you know, you can blast the hell out of the saturation of the door so it removes any moves you're doing. I haven't seen an ass that round since, I mean, come on, Laura, you're in your 30s. We don't do round asses like that in our 30s. This is, that alone, I go, no one's doing that many lunges.
Oh my gosh.
And what
The
Native
amazing
American,
thing-
what gift shop did she stop by to get that jewelry she's wearing here?
Oh boy.
Oh, good. Well, that's the talisman. She was wearing the hex that she put on all of us is carried in the talisman. She had to wear that, you know, for the.
I've been looking
really
for
look
my
like a
soul.
Didn't work very well.
Yeah, some weird, you know, infinity,
Infinity stone.
Infinity stone.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean this. Like, I haven't initiated any wellness checks ever, but today's the day. They really got to make sure she's okay, because this doesn't need to end. And nothing I can say. What I've learned is you have to be detached from like her mood, right? She's threatened to hurt herself to everybody, me, Mike, Clayton, everybody. And what I've learned is like, I can't control that, but I would still feel absolutely terrible if she harmed herself. But at the same time, well, what are we supposed to do? Let these these families' lives get ruined over lies? Like, you know,
well, all you have to ask yourself is, would anybody care in the same way if it were reversed and the sexes were reversed and it was Clayton Echard or a man, any man, who did this false accusing and then, you know, threatened to hurt himself? I don't think anyone would care. And I think I think people would be like, well, you know, don't do bad shit.
I hear what you're saying, but my empathy, I do know what you mean. Like she's so weak. She's so much weaker as a frail little person that people go, oh, what about her? Like you feel like, I feel bad. But if Clayton hurt himself, or even if there was a male who did this to the women, you just go, man, how did your life go this wrong? So like, I do feel pity.
I think we would all feel more like that person, that man was really mentally unwell. And that's the same thing that we should feel about her in the same situation, that she's mentally unwell and she needs help.
Help that she's not gotten from her parents. And it's like, I don't think the prison system's necessarily going to give her that help, but maybe it comes with the therapy that she needs.
Well, our good friend Laura Knighty says that she's not a psychotic person. She's just an asshole, using Lauren's terms. And
agreed.
She has to go through a lot of counseling to figure out what these pieces in her life are lacking, and then create good foundations to be able to get her out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that
the person has to want that.
Yes, you have to want it, and you have to have a, you know, what story are you telling in your life, right? And she's told this story of a victim. She kind of needs to like flip it to play heel and tell the story of the monster. And if she might find that if she unburdens and starts telling that truth, that it feels really good to get it. Like she might feel good about getting it out, and And I actually think people, we're not going to support her and like, subscribe to her Patreon and send her super chat money for breadsticks, although she could use it. But what we would do is like, at least respect that, dang, she's going to try to get her life back in order. I just don't see that happening. But whether she's psychotic or not, she did all these psychotic things. So she clearly is not a normal person. So regardless if there's some clinical term and she knows what she's doing is wrong, it's like that's what makes it even more messed up. I
mean, there are personality disorders that she could be diagnosed with by a professional. That doesn't mean that she is unable to understand crime, repercussions of crime, and stand trial.
Yeah,
that's the important part.
Her claim of autism, by the way, is not recognized in the court system as a reason to avoid repercussions. That's actually a big argument right now in the Brian Kohberger trial. The Kohberger's defense team has been trying to get the judge to give certain instructions to the jury based on his autism diagnosis and his body language, etc. But the judge has to really be careful because the currently case law is on the side of sure, we might be able to instruct the jury that his body language might be different, but it doesn't keep him from the death penalty. It doesn't keep him from a full jail sentence. The only accommodation that is made for people with autism in right now in the court system is, we might tell the jury, this person has strange body language. They don't move very much. They don't have facial expressions, just so you don't judge them based on this strange behavior. But you can look at the facts of the case and you can look at the evidence and you decide what it is. So yeah, she's going to have problems with all of that.
And it all stems from her getting rejected. And I think showing the psychology of what rejection can do to certain people is interesting. It's the same reason school shooters do what they do. They're rejected from the social fabric of the school, and it causes so much pain that they feel like they need to seek revenge. Now, obviously, every case is different, but it's like, what is that? What is that? And again, there might not be some greater trend in society, but is the internet making it worse? Is social media, the idea that, she sees her sister thriving and she's not, and she doesn't have access to the tools in her toolkit to get a man and to live this life. So she thinks she's got to do it through some sort of conniving way. I mean, it's batshit crazy, but like, what's the, at this point, once the case is all said and done, that's what I want to know. I want to hear more about why she did this. Now that we all know
I do too. If she would ever get honest and actually answer those questions and get honest with herself about why she did it. Henrietta says severe rejection sensitivity. A lot of people have rejection sensitivity, especially people with ADHD, right? And yet in that rejection sensitivity, you don't do things like this. You might have depression, you might be sad, you might have a hard time connecting with people, but you don't fabricate a pregnancy. So to take it that far, she really does need to be studied by science and medicine. It's just, I do know someone who is a therapist who believes that she may have something called love addiction, which is something that we really never delved into, but it's interesting to look up and kind of read about. And it's about people who feel entitled to love, and they feel so entitled that they will go to extreme lengths to get that and to have that. And I do feel that she has a very large sense of entitlement, whether it's because of the way she was raised or who knows, but it drips off of her.
Well, you're right about the way she was raised. I mean, she basically got access she'd never earned because of her father. I've seen this play out. I've got some people in my life whose father's sort of famous, and you get to see that they get to use that card and that privilege in so many different ways. I mean, every time she goes out to dinner in San Francisco, right this way, Mr. Owens. And oh, how's Laura doing? Oh my gosh, no way. We can't wait. When are you going to start your radio show? From the early age, she's grown up in that. And again, I'm not making excuses, because what's interesting is her sister is apparently thriving off on her own. And so you do see that not everyone, but like the right personality type that gets fed this BS that she's more important than other people. Then she finds important people like Clayton and all these tall, strong men, and she just wants to knock them down.
Bruce, I'm laughing at this.
But
The best
going-
prime rib.
I know, House of Prime Rib, right? But going back
House
to
of
the,
prime rib.
I just want to, clarify, we don't have a clinical diagnosis of autism here. We may be jumping the gun. Like, I would need to see some sort of
Right.
proof of
Well,
that. Like, she
all I
can-
meant was she claims it. So
But
Yeah,
she's
she-
going to
she
use
claims
it.
it
Autism's
in
interesting, right? Because
this
she
medium.
claimed cancer and she claimed pregnancy. Generally,
Mhm.
things that people don't push back on. How the hell are you going to tell someone they're not autistic, right? You just go, well, I'm masking. I'm autistic. I don't, you know, and it's like, all right. So all of her claims she's always made are things that you have a hard time with the naked eye proving are not true. And then she kind of rides that. But again, whether she has autism or not, like you said, it's like, okay, but there's a giant amount of people that across the spectrum that don't do stuff like this. It's a slap in people's face. So, but yeah, it's definitely something like younger sister, rich family, parents fighting. There's so many elements of like this is just a horrible and like I got a 1-year-old. We don't teach him. We don't really discipline. He's not at the age where he knows right and wrong yet. So if he slaps me on the face, I'm not going to yell at him. He doesn't understand.
Mhm.
But at some age, you teach your kid about losing. You teach them about not getting everything they want. You teach them that feeling of not being in first place. And I'm sure Brad and Bruce, we all know, we've all dealt with a lot of rejection. Megan, you're working in such a competitive industry. You get rejected all the time.
Tons.
All of my passions
Tons.
between pitching and stand-up involve getting rejected for decades.
Right.
I can take a loss. We've all been rejected at a bar. She gets rejected and it becomes her life mission. Like Clayton said, he could just see something turn on her. And then he became the enemy.
Wasn't that an interesting way he put that too? That was a standout to me when he said, when he rejected her finally, that something came over her, that he saw her face change, that it was just like a black cloud, like something really dark.
That was the conversation in the car after the event.
Yeah.
He was doing the rejection. And
you know what's so funny is Clayton, from what I've learned about him, he's very frank. He'll tell you exactly. We've been on phone calls with documentarians and stuff, and he'll say things that you're just like, oh my gosh, like just because he's like very to the point. And I'm sure he's realized like to not beat around the bush. So I imagine he set his boundaries very
He has
strongly.
experience around the bush. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
sorry, I couldn't help myself.
his
Yeah.
super tip has been bushwhacking. But
Well,
no
Gary
experience-
Lenkins knows a lot about the
no
bush.
experience
too.
with Laura's
Oh,
bush, but
boy. Tremendous.
for those of you who are waiting for Reality Steve's stream, he says that it got pushed back to 7 p.m. tonight. So
Okay.
Oh, we should get Reality Steve in here. I didn't
That'll
send
be
him
good.
an invitation. I should have invited him.
get him
Wonder if-
in.
What is he doing? Let's send him a.
He's
Let's
probably watching Sports Center and living his life. He's single.
Let me
You know
see.
that
Let me.
that eye changing thing is so it reminds me of this thing with some personality disorders. It's sort of like people have these modes they're in, like they're in a mode where they're doing one thing and then they switch and they're in a different mode. And this is what that reminds me of.
Yeah, you
So,
ever seen an octopus change colors like immediately? Like it's a chemical reaction. It's changing to its an environment. And the same thing happens with her. It's like you just flipped the chemistry in her soul into like a fight or flight mode. And it's fight.
mhm.
And that's what will probably get us a trial here is she's gonna say, you know what? Yeah, I'll admit to those, but I was pregnant. I feel like that's just the only way she goes, which I hope she goes to trial.
The chat is killing me with their bush jokes. I can't concentrate.
Oh dear.
The chat has gone wild with the bush jokes. He didn't touch her bush, did he?
No, she wanted him to. She was begging.
She's the one with the experience on the bush, not him.
Well, she will
Experience on the
have bush. Yeah, she'll have bush experience if she goes to prison.
Boots says Clayton didn't beat around the brush, the bush. I think he means. Oh God, you guys are killing me. Oh, the chat is so funny, so funny. Speaking of funny, I have another super tip here from Slug. Oh God, I'm gonna say thank you, but it's gonna be something awful.
It is I, Grandma Megan. I must yell at my chat for reminding me I am quite old and short. I must console myself with pickled jelly beans and scrambled pancakes.
Ooh.
As a boomer, I need softer foods.
Thank you, Slug.
Oh my.
I am not the one that does scrambled pancakes. That's you. That's you with your weird food that you can't make properly. Vice Baby sent a $5 super tip as well.
We will riot if she takes a plea. Always go to trial.
Darrell Brooks says, always go to trial, and he would know. And maybe she can build her own box for it. Also, we have DeFloofy Cat.
I'm pregnant. I'm not pregnant.
Thank you for that. The super tips is really fun. And now I'll never be able to say super tips again without thinking of just the tip. Thank you very much, Dave Neal. I also want to go back to my article because I have Clayton's reaction that I would like to play, and it made me so happy to see Clayton smiling with this perma grin on his face.
Mhm.
I just want to play this for you guys. If you haven't seen it, it's so good.
Justice is finally served. I am absolutely amped to share this news with you all that today, as of I think 20 minutes ago, Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell has announced the indictment of Laura Michelle Owens on felony charges related to the paternity scheme. 1 count of fraudulent schemes, a class 2 felony, 1 count of forgery, a class 4 felony, 4 counts of perjury, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of tampering with physical evidence, a class 6 felony. This nightmare is over. I am so ready to not have to think about this anymore. I want to say thank you to Rachel Mitchell and the investigators for serving up justice. I want to thank my lawyers. Oh, they've been incredible standing by my side. This wouldn't have gotten to this point if it wasn't for Greg Woodnick and his entire incredible team. And this is just such a weight lifted off. I'm really looking at messages coming through right now from the other guys. We are so thankful, and thank you all for your support. I have not been this happy. This is a weight of 2 years lifted off my shoulders, of these guys before me, years lifted off their shoulders. It feels good.
Oh, I love it so much for
Wow.
him.
That is such a 180 from June 9th of last year when
Right.
we
Yeah.
were talking to him before the hearing.
I mean, talk
It's just
about
a
how
180-degree turn.
how frustrating it is to see many people in Bachelor Nation not stand by him, not just alumni, but audience. I thought it was 100% that the hundreds of thousands of people in the subreddit would follow this as loyally as Bachelor Nation subreddit and Justice for Clayton did. To see the sort of joking. Now, Nick Vial stuck up for him a little bit recently, but it's like, how convenient in hindsight to be like, yeah, he had it really tough. It's like, well, where were you to use that platform when you knew, we all knew, they all had the evidence that now the public has, which is that it was a complete fraud scam. And it just really bummed me out. And it's left a sour taste in my mind with Bachelor Nation, not individually with specific people, but just that a giant community would choose not to come together, mainly because the moderators of the subreddit had an agenda that wasn't to support Clayton.
Mm.
That's what it comes down to. And the fact that about a dozen people can make the decision, and they'll argue, they'll go, Dave, no, we didn't ban conversation about Clayton. Well, they didn't do enough. They didn't do enough to push his fundraiser effort. They didn't do enough to reward people. And if you don't pass
I think it's true that they were scared. I think they were scared to do it. I think they just weren't courageous enough to take that leap, Dave. And I mentioned it in this article I actually gave you a shout out here, Dave. Also
I thought I saw a spike on my YouTube today.
It says the indictment is a victory for Echard, Maricini, and Gillespie, who fought to clear their names. It is also a victory for the independent press and YouTubers like Dave Neal, Reality Steve, PJ Media, and many others who pushed this story into the news with constant, dedicated investigation and coverage when no major press would cover Echard's story, choosing instead to only cover Owens' tall tales. And I also wanted to wreck the Sun here, and I said the biggest loser here is the Sun, whose editorial staff ran with Owens' false accusations and smeared Echard without doing any investigative work. And this needs to be pointed out repeatedly that we have to support independent media. We have to support the independent journalists, YouTubers who are out there doing good investigative work. We get a bad name. People smear us in the mainstream press all the time, but look, where were they? Where was CNN? Where was the New York Times on this story? This is absolutely a story.
Isn't that funny, right? Like I couldn't get any of these reporters to want to collaborate with me. No one asked me for any of the information that we had. We had to basically do all the work, show it, and then let other people kind of, take the results from that, which again, it's like, whatever, but cases don't always have these types of eyeballs on them. No, this doesn't happen if it doesn't fall into my uber specific niche. And, right now there's a guy who might be behind bars in Georgia in a fake kidnapping scheme from a Walmart, and the guy's just behind bars. And again, he's getting national media attention, so it doesn't exactly relate. But you just realize how much attention these cases need publicly in order to get the justice. It shouldn't work that way, but and then the subreddit, The Bachelor, they're all anonymous. How could they have felt at risk? And they did. She does a damn good job of, but it's like, if whatever they felt, you and I felt 1,000 times, as she had our addresses and FBI phone calls. I mean, she did everything under the sun in the toolbook to try to harass us.
Under the sun. Those early days were full of fear, I think, just because of the fog of war effect. We had a small amount
Brad,
of info.
that's bad. Hold on, Brad. Something's going on with your background noise. I don't know what it is. When you unmute your microphone, it sounds like a leaf blower. Maybe just your volume is too high. Hold on. Let me try and fix that. Yeah, something just all of a sudden started going weird.
But yesterday somebody asked me, how do you feel after these indictments? Does it feel like it's over? And to me, it's more like it's a continuous effort of just learning more and more new information, researching, investigation. And as we've gone on, we've understood more. But in those early days, we didn't understand as much. And nobody was covering it. And so every time there was a new person on YouTube covering it, the community was just so happy that another person was covering it, because we just wanted more information and understanding about the case, really.
Yeah. Well, what I was thinking of too is how many great friends we've all made because of this case. I'm really thankful to Laura Owens for one thing. The harassment and the legal threats were not fun, but what was fun was making friends with all of you, meeting Dave, meeting Bruce, meeting Lauren Knighty, coming together with meeting Omar, Tilted Lawyer. God, I had so much fun with him doing the mock trial we did, the mock interrogation of Laura Owens. And, we met so many great people along this way. Liz Neptune, so many good people that I connected with and made friends with here on YouTube. And we grew each other's channels and we helped each other out, and we supported each other. I mean, look at you guys I don't know who's putting these pictures up, but they're great. Let's take a look back at some of them, because man, it was a fantastic day out there at the media van at the June trial. We had Dave and I showed up in matching hats somehow. I'm not sure how. That's just the hat you have to wear in Arizona when it's 112.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was humbling.
They hand them out on the plane. You get off the plane, they give you a hat. You got to walk around and protect that face from that desert sun. We had let's see, let's take this.
My shoe was melted to the roof there. That was about 140 degrees.
It was so hot at the end of the day. Oh my gosh.
That media tech van, the air conditioning quit working, the generator blew. I don't know. It was my
laptop was on fire. I was like,
yeah.
We were just but hey, I mean, we what could you do? We got to get better internet next time. We'll have to be there for the.
We'll have Bruce's van, his tricked out van next time, right, Bruce? You're gonna make the trip.
That's true. Yeah, and if there's a power hookup, we can get full-time AC. I don't know, or we can get more gasoline. But yeah.
Yeah, it should be amazing next time, because we've worked out all the kinks the first time around.
My AC will run either on connected power or a gas generator, so either way.
Either way. Interesting. Okay, good. Well, it was a great time. We had so much fun. So much incredible fun at the trial, and we made so many friends. It was just so fun that we were able to do that, so that we had positive things come from this terrible event.
We've got the Bay Area, the San Francisco Chronicle is reporting on it, which is good.
Oh, really?
I'll send you the link in the chat right here.
All right, cool.
But
I think some intrepid folks in Discord turned them on to the story, I think.
Well, that's really important because you have Ron Owens' dedicated audience there, right? And she's been lying to them through her,
she's been running Facebook ads on her GoFundMe. That's insane.
Ads? Seriously?
Yeah, they were running ads on their Facebook. Basically how it works on Meta is you make a Facebook post or a reel, and then you can push that through the ad system.
Wow. I did not know she was doing ads. Okay, here is remove other media. What media do I have up? Oh, Dave, would you remove your pictures? They're blocking the article. I don't know why.
Sure.
I don't know how to do it from here. I guess I can't.
Got it.
There we go. All right. StreamYard made some changes that I do not like, as far as they don't just automatically kick the thing that's on the screen off. All right, so here we go. Bay Area radio legend's daughter indicted in bachelor paternity scandal. This came out today. Let's see if it's any good. Laura Owens, the daughter of Bay Area radio legend Ron Owens, was indicted in Arizona on multiple felony charges, including fraud and perjury in connection with a paternity case involving former The Bachelor star. You know, there really is no good way to say this, is there? I mean, that's a hard-hitting sentence right there. There's just no good way to announce that you've been indicted on 7 counts. That just sounds so bad. The Maricopa County Attorney's Office announced the indictment on Tuesday, following a year-long investigation into Owens' claims. And then it talks about the suit that she filed, that he denied the allegations. She claims she suffered a miscarriage. After inconsistencies came to light, Judge Julie Mata of Maricopa County referred the case to the county attorney's office. And then it goes into how many counts, which we've already gone over. And it talks about the ruling that called it fraudulent and baseless. And there's a picture of her dad. Oh boy, this is not going to go over well in the casita. What do you guys think?
I mean, San Francisco Chronicle dropped the ball, right? When it came to their article, they bent. I mean, you know more about this as a journalist, but they bent the knee to Laura, right? Didn't they do dirty editing?
Oh, they sure did. I don't
even
remember
this article. I think they quote her Medium stuff quite a bit here, which
they do
tends to lend it
credence,
right?
Oh, sure enough.
Actually, I think this article itself is a little bit on the edge.
Yeah. Yeah, here
I mean,
we
it's
go.
good that it's here because it'll get people to look at things, right? Like we always like that.
I can't imagine people reading this though and being like, "Oh, I'm sure she's right." After a judge and the county attorney, they're indicting her. Like it's going criminal now. Like I'm sure people are not going to be like, "Oh, you know who I believe? Ron Owens' spoiled kid." In a Medium post from June, she wrote, Judge Mata, in essence, dismissed all of this evidence as meaningless. Owens further claimed that the judge was influenced by Echard's celebrity status. I mean, who the hell would believe this?
Right. Yeah. I mean, at least it'll spurn people on if they're confused about what's going on to look into it a little bit more.
And so, yeah, they quoted her Medium stuff, which is just inexcusable. I mean, it really is. I mean, they probably should. I mean, they can use the Medium article to quote her, but they should have reached out to her, directly, especially since they know Ron's number by heart, probably.
Yeah. Mary Lincoln's is saying NBC is reporting on this.
Oh,
Of course,
good.
that's Mary Lincoln's, so I don't know.
Oh, good. Well, let's see. Maybe that's. Let me see if I can find that. Let's see.
This doesn't get one of those cheesy Dateline things. I mean, it's a tough time to get any news, and I get that. Like Megyn Kelly was going to cover this, and then the election came about, and like I don't blame her. I don't blame people on that level, but yeah. I mean, you gotta do an audit of news and go, all right. Well, San Francisco Chronicle, their bread was buttered by Ron Owens and those connections, and it's like it's not really you can't really blame necessarily the journalist. It could be the editor, right? Like, do you think the article, like, do you think this guy writes this article and then gets a paragraph taken out? He's never going to mention it, right? You're never going to throw your boss under the bus.
Here's NBC on MSN.
Oh,
Arizona
wow.
woman faked pregnancy with Bachelor star by fabricating ultrasound, officials say. And here, Arizona woman lied about becoming pregnant with the Bachelor season 26 star Clayton Echard using a fake ultrasound image and fabricated pregnancy video to make the bogus claim, authorities said on Tuesday. And then it talks about her 7-count indictment. Yeah, none of this is good for her. This is not going in the scrapbook at the casita, I would imagine. She will not be clipping these articles and saving them. But yes, it is making the rounds now. I am doing a Google search on, there are multiple. We've got the Mercury News, KTAR, Hoodline, 12 News, NBC News, San Francisco Chronicle, 2Fab, something called 2Fab. I don't know what that is. AZ Central. That would be our friend Jimmy.
That's Channel 12.
Mm-hmm.
Channel 12 in Arizona as well as AZ Central.
Okay, and then we got Fox 10 in Phoenix.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's making the rounds. The most recent one would be
Is Keith
the
Morrison
NBC
still around, or
article.
did he retire?
They'll get him back for this.
Right?
He'll come back.
The Mercury News was one that just went up too. I'm not familiar with Mercury News. Are you guys familiar with that? But
yeah, they
this is
usually do
interesting.
tech stories for the Bay Area, right? For the tech industry.
Oh, maybe. But here's what I like about this one. Let me show you the headline. This one says Ron Owens' name right in the headline. Ron Owens' daughter indicted in alleged bachelor paternity fraud. And they are connecting it with the KGO 810 radio legend. And they've spelled Clayton's name wrong. Holy crap, Mercury News. You can't even Google his name. ECK.
That's what kills me is even when they last night, I played this clip on my podcast, but the Scottsdale News, the NBC did a segment on it. Did you get that one?
I saw. I didn't watch the whole thing. I saw a clip of it.
Yeah, it was basically just they do a good job of summing it up in like 60 seconds. I actually get kind of jealous when the news can like run like this perfect 45-second summation. And I'm like, I just covered this for 2 years and I couldn't do 45 seconds. When people ask me about this trial, I go, how much time do you have? I'll fill between 0 and 4 hours. Like, what do you need?
Yeah, right. Exactly. It is hard to sum it up. They do
We
a good
appreciate
job
your
writing
4
it.
hours though, Dave.
We
But
do.
here's what's crazy is I've kind of put on hold doing my live show about it just because, there's life's busy, right? But my guess is there's going to be a documentary. That's I was right about my intuition about this getting the charges happening. And I'm telling you right now, there will be a documentary as far as I know. But it's not going to cover everything. And I think I'm going to have to do a live show of the information that didn't make it to the other stuff because because like we said, none of this even involves Chase J. Jones, which is the craziest and most brazen abuse. But again, maybe the grand jury does, maybe that's part of it. I don't know. But there's just always more to the story. There's always another season to this.
You should definitely do your show, Dave, because what I've noticed is the first thing I want to do after I watch like a Netflix documentary or an HBO documentary is I want to find another documentary on the same subject and watch that too.
And just have
I think a lot of people want that.
I agree.
And it'll be TED Talk style. It'll for sure be TED Talk style. I actually met a really great documentarian team. And if I do it, I'll probably shoot it at like a Lyric Hyperion, a small 100-seat theater where I can talk to audience. I really feel like you need to see the audience's jaws dropping as you tell the story. It's like watching magic. You don't just want to see the sleight of hand. You want to see the guy going, that's stupid. Like you want to see the reaction because it is stupid. And that's why I've really enjoyed hearing hearing what a journalist thinks and hearing what lawyers think and everyone who said, this never happens. Like that means something to me because I don't know.
It really doesn't. The things that have happened in this case very rarely happen. For instance, being charged with perjury, right? This is something that we have in those of us who cover legal cases and the judicial system have said for years is a real sticking point. It's like, well, they lied on stage and then the lawyers will laugh at you and you're like, that's perjury. And then everyone laughs and goes, yeah, nothing's going to happen. No one is. It's probably true. Somebody in the chat, and I started, said that David Jingris probably told her. I can't find it now, but it was there. Oh, here it is. I just realized that baby Jingy may have told Laura that no one ever gets indicted for perjury, and now she's indicted for perjury. This is true, though. It is a real problem. Hardly anyone is ever indicted for perjury. Oh, look who's here coming to the stage. Reality Steve.
All right.
How you doing, brother? How are you feeling?
The wicked witch, the wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witches.
Bruce, get some extra. Steve, get some extra chicken wings for us for the VIP lounge because we're going to be celebrating.
This is
Vegas is going to be lit, Steve.
Do you know your costume yet? Wait, do you know it's an 80s theme, Megan?
Wait, no, you didn't tell me that. I know
Oh,
it
yeah.
told me it was an 80s theme. Oh, I got to get a costume. together?
Megan's like, I guess I'll have to go back to high school and start giving guys hand jobs underneath the bleachers.
Damn.
Is that a costume? Hand job?
That is not a costume.
It's an interactive experience.
Hashtag approved.
That will not be happening in Vegas, I guarantee you. But I will find a costume if we're doing 80s. I'll pull out my lace gloves.
Leg warmers for
Any
sure.
80s theme, whether it's a character from a TV show or a movie or just 80s garb that you used to wear in the 80s, go ahead.
Excellent.
Anything will work.
I didn't know that, but
Yeah.
I have a closet full of stuff from the 80s. I never quit wearing 80s wear, so that's
there
the
you go.
good news.
Simple.
It's going to be so fun, though. It turns out that like this birthday party of yours is going to be a celebration of epic proportions. Steve.
Yeah, I know. It turned into because last year's party was 2 days before the trial. You know, Dave and I both flew out Sunday night to Arizona.
That's right.
And the trial was on Monday. Just the timing of it is crazy to think about. That it's been we're coming up on a year since the trial, and it's just I said on my podcast today. It's just so funny how all of us, Dave, the JFC crew, all of us have been right the whole time about what was coming. And there was only one person or two people that couldn't see it. And that was Jingris and Laura. Laura writes all of her blogs and says all this. And Jingris said, there's no way Clayton's going to win appeal. And Clayton wins appeal. No way she's going to get indicted. She gets indicted. Like, this guy has literally taken 500 L's in this case. And he probably still thinks that Laura has been telling him the truth the whole time. It's just hilarious at this point.
How did you hear about the indictment, Steve? I want to hear. Take me to the moment you heard what happened, and what was your reaction?
Your guy right there, Brad, told me. That was how I heard.
That's how I heard too.
Yeah.
Brad told me too.
Brad sent it in a text, and then immediately we told Rachel Juarez, and she was like, "Oh my God!" And by the way, I'm going to go live with Rachel Juarez on YouTube tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh, fantastic. I can't
Make sure you have cookies ready.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm going to present her. She's going to get a cookie for being right about everything. Yeah, I heard it from Brad, and then
let's make sure we get it right. Rachel Juarez's first response was, "Holy fucking shit!"
Yeah, that's what she wrote. Yeah, that's right. She was very. I mean, and you know what? When she first got into this case, and we talked about it, she was very surprised from the get-go that Mata recommended, charges possibly coming. She goes, it's just, she's a family law attorney herself. She's just like, it just doesn't happen in cases like this.
It doesn't.
But she figured that with the 19-page summary that Mata gave after the trial, she's like, look, there's something there. And then last week when Rachel Mitchell said at the press conference, stay tuned, a lot of us were thinking like, you don't say stay tuned if Rachel Mitchell obviously had her ear to what was going on. She wouldn't have said stay tuned if she knew nothing was coming out of this. We didn't know what, but
one of the things to remember about that is that hearing that was done was actually 2 weeks ago. It was only that Bianca Buono posted it last Thursday, and she said, I forgot to post this, but I did ask this 2 weeks ago. So
it was 2 weeks ago. Okay.
Yeah.
So she knew.
What did you say, Brad? The stay tuned was when the grand jury was
we don't
know. It was the very day of the grand jury meeting, May 1st. Wasn't that the day?
No, it was 2 weeks ago. It was that press conference was like the 23rd of April. and then they didn't submit the indictment until the 1st.
The indictment is dated May 1st. I swear, I thought I saw that clip though just last week.
Right, because Bianca asked the question on the 23rd. Here, let me.
And then posted it later.
Yeah, and then they posted it later. Yes.
Isn't there something?
It wasn't
Isn't there
posted
some
immediately.
dates? Isn't there some dates involved in this where something fell on either Dave or Augie's birthday?
Augie's birthday,
yesterday. Augie's birthday that everything came down.
Well, it looks like
this document,
yeah. I think the charges might have happened on my birthday, May 1st, but this all came out yesterday. Yeah, wild stuff.
It was released yesterday.
April 23rd, 2025 was the press conference. And then Bianca was there, asked the question. And then he's like, oh, sorry, I forgot to post this on Twitter to let everyone know that I asked it.
Fantastic. So, so that's why there was the delay. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
I'm sorry, Megan.
unbelievable.
I'm sure you guys have spoken about this of the, what was it? Was it count number 3 or whatever, where apparently the grand jury has some sort of evidence that Laura lied about the whole, I haven't had sex since March of 2022.
Yes,
I thought that was fascinating to see.
I thought it was fascinating too. This was about Judge Duty.
Yeah.
This was something we never picked up on, right? We didn't pick up on this. Here it is, count 3.
We would have no reason to ever know that this was a thing.
Right.
So they had to have gotten this from a device, I think. I think they took her devices or a source or a witness. But I'm betting that she had some kind of dating app or whatever, because we know she's on the dating apps. And the messaging there may have shown that she was involved with somebody else. I can't wait to find out.
They wouldn't put this in account if they didn't have something more so than he said, she said, right? If somebody just came forward in the investigation saying, hey, I hooked up with her in, post March 2022. It would have to be
sufficient evidence to convince a grand jury, which is interesting because they didn't, there's different avenues for these things. They went with the grand jury, which I think is a very strong, solid way to go.
Yeah, this is great.
I have been getting text messages from both Mike and Greg.
Yeah.
They are overjoyed. They are beyond. They're so happy. I do think there's going to be news coming from both of them soon about certain things. I'll let them go ahead and talk about that. And but yeah, there's going to be more things coming, and this has got to be for the protective orders that are still active, and especially the one she just got renewed against Greg Gillespie. He hasn't fought that yet. If he goes to fight it now with this indictment, if she can't even speak on her behalf, she can't defend herself because she will be incriminating herself. She's under criminal investigation. Anything she says now can and will be used against her in a court of law. Whether that's on medium or in court, huge disadvantage. He ought to go right now. That's my advice. Go right now and get that removed immediately.
So no blog coming from her. She won't be blogging.
Oh,
for us?
she might.
She shouldn't.
She shouldn't. But
when has she ever listened to our good advice?
Here's a question that I have, and I was going to ask Rachel this tonight, but maybe you guys know this. Is obviously we know Jingris after losing reconsideration. He's like, oh, Arizona Supreme Court next. Does this change anything with that? He can still file it, but it just seems like this is we all know he's going to, regardless of if this indictment came down yesterday or in 2 months from now, he was going to lose anything he submitted to the Arizona Supreme Court. Does this change anything in terms of why would he even do it? Or does he just not do it anymore?
I think he's going to disappear.
He can submit it because the thing is all of the arguments that he's made on it are bogus to begin with. So all he's doing is trying to get the court to try and agree with him. The problem lies in all of the facts of the case that he's conveniently ignoring are what the real issue is. And he's trying to get around all of that by trying to get the hearing and the judgment on that removed.
Yeah, the appeal is not litigating facts, it's litigating issues of law, which is separate from these indictments. So I still think it's very ill-advised for them to continue their appeal, but they certainly could.
It just seems so silly at this point because his appeal is like, Judge Mata did this. And it's just like, hey, your client has 7 felony counts against her, and he's just going to be sitting over here in the corner yapping away about, but Judge Mata went on a blog to find out that Planned Parenthood was closed. Like, that's what he's literally still arguing, that the judge was biased in this case. It's just like, dude, give up. You've lost every single thing about this case, and he's still going. I can't wait till his next statement, whether it's a YouTube video or he gets on Twitter, but what can he say at this point?
You know what pisses me off, Steve, is that he's sort of respectful in when he goes live with you, but then he's got these brass internet balls he puts together when he's on Twitter. And it's like, be the same person, bring that ridiculous, but he can't because he gets dunked on by Juarez, which again is part of his kink. He probably has his like nipples connected to some electric shocks as he loses to Rachel Juarez.
Dave, I know you didn't say this purposely, but you called her Juarez.
Dang.
Rachel.
Dave.
Really go there with Rachel?
Apologies, Rachel.
All those R's, Dave. Come on.
I object. I'm sorry.
Objection.
I know you
check this out.
I think
this
it's
out,
less
guys.
about being insulted. I think he, like I mentioned before, I think he's got personality disorder issues, and he might have a mode. He might have an in-person mode, and he might have an internet mode, and it's like 2 different things.
My mode is beating him, and I'm fully activated.
Yeah.
Check this just came out. This hit me on Twitter just now. All the best research and timeline says, mark your calendar. We've received word that something big is happening at the Maricopa County Courthouse on May 29th. Stay tuned for updates. How cryptic! What the heck is happening on the 29th?
May 29th. Dave and I will be in Vegas on May 29th. My gosh, we need to go live from the room, Dave, from the 60-degree room.
Yes.
Yes.
Bring the mobile podcast setup.
Yeah.
Go live from the hot tub.
Yeah.
You can do the hot tub
That's
stream.
the day we arrive. So yeah. What does anybody know what this could possibly be? What
I guess my guess is arraignment.
Yeah.
But arraignment, it's
because she's
that's
received
an
a
awful
summons.
long ways out. That's a long ways out from today.
She's been served with the summons. We know that. And the fact that she hasn't had to go in now just means that they're really not worried about her fleeing at the moment, because typically with criminal, they say, okay, you've got to appear, tomorrow to get booked and do your initial pleadings.
I was going to say, does this lead to? Are we going to get a Laura Owens mugshot out of this? Like, is she going to be booked? And mugshot?
I'm hearing there's a new David Jingris blog.
Oh no way!
100%,
100%, she will get booked. Okay, let's. You want to share your screen, Bruce? Do you have it up?
Maricopa County does not do mugshot.
No, they do.
Public.
No, they do. They just don't put it up, but we can request it.
Oh,
that's the thumbnail. That's the poster for the documentary. Finally.
I'm not seeing anyone.
Yeah, I'm not seeing. March 29th is the last thing I see from him. March 29th, 2025, fourth quarter. Here we come. Owens versus Echard.
Bruce, do you have a new one?
No, I'm just seeing people mentioning it.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, we don't know.
Did it go up and come down real fast? I'm not sure.
He would tweet it out. I'm looking on his Twitter account. There's nothing on his Twitter account that's new.
He's been silent there.
Yeah, what's he
all right? Well, investigation continues.
Yeah, yes, the investigation continues. Much like the fetal DNA testing, it continues. Let's see. I'm looking at Twitter. So this is unbelievable, though. I did hope that this was coming, but I gave it up. I was a little black-pilled on it. Somebody sent me that Rachel Mitchell clip of her saying "stay tuned," and I said, "Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it."
I mean,
and we had to see it.
It was great because the first sentence of that press release yesterday said, it's amazing to think, but they said investigators since July of last year is when they've been investigating. This 10 months they put into investigating this, and to come up with 7 felony counts, like they clearly did their homework, and I'm sure a lot was helped out by the stuff that Dave uncovered over the. Since this whole ordeal began, there's no way the stuff that Dave and JFC uncovered and revealed didn't help that investigation. It had to have, because
dude, you too. I mean, she sent you the ultrasound, right?
Yeah, she sent me the ultrasound that obviously, but that was the ultrasound she sent me was the one that you were able to discover that was the YouTube one that she stole, right? That was the ultrasound. Yeah, it's just, but you know, I didn't know how long these things take, and you're starting to lose hope. Like, is something going to happen? But if they investigated this for 10 months and then did nothing, it almost seemed like they would have had nothing after like 3 or 4 months. But they were 10 months into this investigation and finally came out with what they did. I was just like, good. They did their due diligence. They did their homework.
I do have a source who has informed me that the raid on her house happened at the end of April.
They raided her house?
Mm-hmm. Yes, they took her devices.
It came with a warrant to get devices.
Wow.
It was that late? That recently?
That's what
end
kills
of
me
April.
about
That
it.
was last week.
So did they wait for the appeal to be over to really?
Well, I mean, the appeal was already over, though.
The way these investigators do their work is that they get everything they need together first, then they apply for the warrant. The warrant comes down, and then they already know what they're looking for, right? They know what they're going to find, and then they hope to find more stuff on top of that.
All right, I need some video from some neighbors walking their dogs, because I mean, if you're in a small neighborhood and you start seeing police walking out with files,
ring cam,
taking videos, give me the ring.
Yeah, ring cams. So anybody, we got to get some of this
will
video.
this be a FOIA-able from the body cam footage?
Because it's
That
matters pending
maybe.
to a criminal proceeding, doubtful.
Probably not. Yeah, because it's in the middle of an investigation. The investigation is still going, but it will come out if there's a trial.
Do we think this goes to trial? Do we think it does?
I don't see any other outcome for her. She's not going to admit guilt. She's going to admit Laura Owens. She's going to admit guilt.
Steve, we're going to be going to Buffalo Wild Wings in Maricopa.
Yeah, can we book?
We're going back to my
trial now?
parents' pool. We're going back to the pool party.
I'm the pool starter. I just start with a cannonball. The pool party doesn't start until I cannonball in.
That's right. I mean, if there's a trial, obviously we're going again. There's no doubt in my mind. But at this point, like, gosh, imagine. I mean, we won't know, obviously. At how long? I mean. How long out would we know?
Well, I was told the trial would probably be 5 days. That's what I was told from a lawyer.
And it won't happen for another year from today, maybe 15 months.
I was going to say, so a year out.
Yep.
Roughly?
A 5-day would probably be way out on the calendar.
We will be back here next year at this time. We're going to go to Steve's birthday party, and then we're going to head to the trial. That's what's going to happen.
Your parents had really good cookies. I don't know where they got them from, but you get me some of those cookies, and I'm there.
All right, we'll make sure that happens. Well, I feel like we worked out all the kinks at the last trial, and this one's going to be very smooth. We're going to have, Bruce the Moose is going to have his tech band all, prepped, ready to go. We're going to have air conditioning this time. We're going to have snacks. We already got the snack lady. I'm sure that she'll cater it again. We've got an entire network of people there in Scottsdale that we can count on to have the tailgating live in the parking lot again. So
they might even
do
live streaming from the criminal court that we don't have to host, because those courtrooms are already wired up for that.
Yeah, if it's at the main building, there might even be a media room. Like we were at the tiny building last time. This could be at the main
this is
building.
going to be like so posh and bougie. A media
We might have
room.
to fight law and crime to get space.
You know
my God.
Yeah, well, that's going to suck. Anchorman fights in the parking lot.
You know what's going to suck though about this trial is there's not going to be any Jingris, because he's not a defense attorney, or a criminal. He doesn't do criminal cases. So
but he thinks he can.
Well, he thinks he can. But if he's not part of this, it'll kind of put a little damper on things, unless whoever she gets as her defense attorney ends up being a total clown like Jingris. Then we could have fun at that guy's expense. But
we should wear clown noses if Jingris is there when he walks by. We'll just put clown noses on and wave.
She could go full Darrell Brooks and represent herself. I can't think of
Sir
better.
Boone?
There's no way she could defend herself.
I've got to go. I'm on deadline to get my afternoon show up. But tell Rachel Juarez I said hello. And it's been nice to catch up with you guys. Megan, and I'll see you guys in the hot tub.
I'll read your super chats for you later because we didn't get to those.
Oh yeah,
yet.
thanks everybody. I'm going on Patreon to go make some stuff. We have just for those who care about the Baldoni case. There's an arson that has been arrested at Steve Sorowitz's home. He's the billionaire that fronts all of the Wayfarer Studios projects, and he's part of this $100 million lawsuit. So an arsonist has been arrested for lighting a part of their, or trying to light their house on fire. So we're gonna have a wild afternoon, guys.
Did I read that Wayfarer shut down their studios or
one
whatever?
of their charity branches they closed? Yeah, they're so we're all in on this. Meg, I got to talk to you later about Karen Reed because I need to get you on to give me updates. But
yeah,
it's drinking water out of a garden hose here with all of this.
I know there's so much going. It's so good to see you too. Thank you so much
and by the way, as a Catholic, are you live streaming the conclave right now? Is that part of?
No,
that's not part of your.
Is that ongoing?
Oh, that starts today, I think.
I don't
know.
The
conclave is ongoing. Yes, Brad. The conclave is ongoing.
Results to be determined. We don't know yet. But
I'm rooting for Cardinal Sarah from Africa, but we'll see.
Is that a woman?
No,
we don't do
we don't do that in the Catholic Church, Dave.
I don't know what they take. I don't. Whatever.
That's his last name.
If the smoke is pastel, that means Dave was elected. So
yeah, I'll be the first pope with skinny shorts on with my pope hat.
Wait, I thought Trump was a candidate for pope. Posted a picture of himself.
We'll have to see.
Maybe.
That's the orange smoke, Steve.
The orange smoke.
You don't want the spray tan to leak onto that nice white outfit. All right, I gotta go. You guys are fantastic. I love you. See you.
Yep.
Bye. We love you too. Oh my God, so funny. All right, we've got another super tip. Steve hasn't been here for these. This is going to be fun. We have another super tip coming up from Geronimo Kennels. Thanks for the 5.
We all know why Kurt won't go pick up women at AutoZone. They are all old enough to drive.
Oh no!
Damn.
I disavow that, chat. No, I don't. That was funny. It's his own fault for not checking the age of consent in Texas. All right. We have, what else do we have? Well, I have a ton of super chats to get to, but we don't need to do that exactly right now. I'm desperate to know what Rachel is going to talk about tonight. I'm desperate to know her take on it, Steve. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, she texted us last night, and what was the thing that she said?
It was funny. She said, so she's in the middle of filming right now. So she's out in Connecticut doing filming for the next season to air in September. And she's like, I'm supposed to be reading these 8 cases, but I'm here reading the Arizona statutes on all of these things. Yeah. I'm so distracted.
Yeah, she said, the exact wording was, oh, wait, where is it? Yeah, I'm supposed to be preparing for tomorrow, and instead I'm reading Arizona sentencing guidelines, and she's just trying to figure out exactly like what the penalty will be for something like this. And I guess it's kind of early to know for sure exactly how. And I'll ask her, if you are Laura's defense attorney, whoever she hires for this, assuming she doesn't represent herself, if you are her defense attorney for this, what is your strategy? What do you tell Laura to do? To plead guilty to the class 6 felony? She's not going to plead guilty to the class 2. We know that. But do you tell her to plead guilty to the smaller ones so she can, I know that Rachel said the fact that she's a first-time offender is going to help her in this case. But again, I guess we just
it will. But I did the math, and it seems like the lightest sentence she could get is around 3 to 5 years.
Wow.
And that means she's going to have to, and of course, then it could be suspended, right? It could be a suspended sentence. It's not a sentence that you have to serve right away, depending on what the judge decides. But if she doesn't plead down some of these charges, she's looking at a minimum of 3 to 5 years. There's no getting around that. That class 2 felony. And by the way, if I'm the prosecutor, I'm not letting her plead down that big felony. No. I'll drop the smaller ones, but you're going down for the big one. We got you. If we got you dead to rights.
What class 2 was which?
That was the schemes and artifices.
Which is, we know the examples that they said.
No,
they just said that she was going to materially benefit from this scheme against Clayton. It's basically the fraud, the entire fraud that she was attempting to commit.
This one, pursuant to a scheme or artifice to defraud, knowingly did obtain a benefit from Clayton Ray Echard by means of fraudulent pretenses, representation, promises, or material omissions.
Do we know what this benefit was?
Well,
what
I
is
can
this
tell
benefit?
you her benefit: fame, power, press, right? Going to the Sun, telling him that if he didn't do what she wanted, she was going to the Sun. That's extortion. And then she did it. She went to the Sun. She got good press. She got all this attention. She got mentioned. She got a TEDx talk because of Mike Marichini.
That
By
was
the way,
before.
I know, but I was just about to say, Mike Marichini's case is not closed. It is not. I'm just going to tell you, I know for a fact it is still being investigated. The charges can still be added to this as we go along.
But the problem is that those would have to be filed in California. It wouldn't be in Arizona.
This might become a federal case. Think about it. Across state lines, it might.
But she was in California when she was dealing with Mike.
Right. Which is why maybe, I don't know, maybe the feds are involved.
But the material benefit, I mean, there's the simplest case, which is she asked for parenting time, child support, and other stuff. So the idea that
she asked for child support. Yep.
So if she was going to have been granted the parenting time and everything, then she would have benefited from that and used fraud in order to attempt to elicit that financial gain.
That's true. And also, if just because there are state charges, right, county charges in Arizona, doesn't mean that there can't be federal charges as well. We don't know. We don't know who's investigating. Remember, Laura Owens herself called the feds.
I would like to see charges for the Chase J. Jones activity of mailing a motion to quash to LA court in the Dave Neal harassment case from Seattle, Washington. To me, that seems like federal mail fraud.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of things they could go for.
You got
like
that,
extortion
you've got
isn't
tag
even
and-
extortion wasn't even obviously one of these charges against
Right.
her, but can that still come up? Like the fact that
I
she
would think
literally
so.
wrote in emails about you do this, I won't do this. You whatever.
Well,
you date
maybe.
me, or else I won't have the abortion. Or
So that's
whatever.
a good question for Rachel, because I think that
Put that in my notes.
I think they didn't put that in here because you have to reach a certain threshold, right? There has to be a certain dollar amount for it to be extortion.
But
And I think it's over 100,000. But she did try to extort him for 1.3 million.
Yeah.
But the reason why that's not extortion is because it was done in the process of a legal matter. And so it's too shady. It's too on the line of it being it's a too gray for to be like, is it a settlement offer or is it extortion? It's kind of hard to tell when you're dealing with legal matters sometimes.
Well, I mean, this is just great. This whole thing is just when Brad texted me that last night, I was shocked that it just came down. I wasn't expecting to hear anything. I just wasn't expecting to hear anything. I didn't know when, but then I get that from Brad and I'm like, indicted. And then I see 7 counts and I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. Like everything that we've been talking about since the Sun article came out and Dave and I jumped on this, you see that indictment, you're almost like, wow, it actually worked. The system worked. Everything that everybody said was going to happen did, versus no, it ended up getting thrown out. And
if you
hadn't
hadn't kept it up though, Steve, if you and Dave had not kept at it, kept hammering that truth every day, it absolutely would have fallen through the cracks. It absolutely would. If we hadn't heard about it, if LawTube didn't get involved, Legal Vices, MG Law, all of these other channels, right, that were like, holy crap, this is a huge story. Why isn't the mainstream reporting this? If we didn't all get together and actually keep pushing it out there, it absolutely would have fallen through the cracks.
Yeah.
So congratulations to you, Steve, for being at the front of this and for having the courage to keep going when everybody told you, everybody else in the media didn't want to touch it.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Because we we kept on it, and Dave kept on it with all his videos, and more people got into it. That formed the JFC crew, who found so many things that Jingris refuses to look at and says he doesn't care about because it was before his time. Exactly. Before my time, I don't care about it. But all that stuff that was found that ended up being, the thing that when Dave went live with you that day and he found the Fiverr logo, like all these things that were found by other people, lies in her deposition that people read word for word, and they say, wait a second, this is a contradiction to what she said. She said this in her deposition, but she said this in a blog in October of 2024 or whatever. There were so many things that were found because the story was pushed consistently by Dave, sometimes by myself. Like, I chimed in when I could. I was more active in the beginning because I was literally going back and forth on email with Laura during this time, and I would always just relay to people what she was saying to me in email. I'm like, this woman is nuts. And this was early on. This is before I knew about Mike and Greg. It was just my personal dealings with her. This woman just did not answer anything when I'd ask her specific questions in an email. And I'm just like, this is bizarre, this woman. And then you find out that she's got a history with other men doing the same exact thing. And she's got an OOP out against 3 different guys. And she's been pregnant by 3 different guys. Like, look, either she's the unluckiest woman in the world or she's lying. Like, come on.
Steve, do you remember the New York girl where you looked at the security camera footage and was like, that's not Clayton. Like, we cleared this up in 5 minutes. I thought this might be another one of those cases where you and Dave would clear this up in 10 minutes.
Yeah, that girl who thought it was Clayton, she's the one. I didn't find it myself. She sent it to me thinking, like, she thought she was proving it to me. Like, see, I just got this from the security camera footage. See, this is me walking back to the room with Clayton. And I'm like,
yeah,
honey,
with Laura sending you all that stuff, that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, it was just, Laura tells me, I know you don't believe I'm pregnant, Steve, but here's my proof. Notes from her neurologist appointment, a sonogram that Dave later found out was stolen off YouTube 6 years previous, and then the infamous baby bump picture where she's standing in her bathroom. That's like a 2-second video, which clearly is just her popping her stomach out. Clearly we know she wasn't pregnant at that time, but it was always weird to me. I think the whole, the baby bump at the pretrial hearing, which was 6 months from the time that she claims sex allegedly happened, that obviously incriminated her as well, because it's like, wait a second, why would you have a baby bump? But then in December, a month later, you said you lost them. Well, then why did you have a belly at 6 months? And if you did have a belly at 6 months, where are these children now? So it's just like so many things. And I asked Jingris that on my podcast, and he just kind of, poo-poos it and says, well, it was before my time, and I don't care about that. It's like, maybe you should care about it, because
I loved your interview. I loved your debate, by the way. Every time he got into a corner, he was like, can we move on?
Yeah, can we just move on? See, we're just running out of time here. Can we just move on to the next topic? It was like literally so when Rachel dunked on him. It was like, yeah, can we move on to the next topic?
Can we just move on? It was so good. Look at this. We've got more reporting. The Independent just put this out 30 minutes ago. Woman indicted after accusing Bachelor star of impregnating her, but cops say it was all fake. They're using a.
I can't stop looking at the woman on the far right in this picture.
Oh boy.
This one over here.
Yeah.
That's not all right, Steve. Come on now.
Are you shopping for jogging shorts, Megan? What's going on?
I don't know why I'm seeing that ad. I'm not looking for volleyball shorts. But this is great. So
Megan, we have an update.
Oh, great.
Jingris?
Do you need
not Jingris.
Do we need the breaking news button?
Need the breaking news sound.
Put up the my stage. Original arraignment hearing, 9:00 on the 29th.
Oh boy.
Wow, that's really far out. That's really far out from the indictment. Are
they usually closer?
Yes, they're usually within 10 days. So I am a little confused as to why it's
22 days.
Yeah, I'm a little confused as to why it's so far out.
Can we attend that? Can we watch the arraignment hearing?
Yes. They have a 24-hour camera on the arraignments in Maricopa County.
That's the day
I have it open right now, actually.
So we don't even have to go there.
Would you share it so we could see it?
Let's see what it's going to look like.
Look, here it is. This is the live arraignment camera.
High def.
At Maricopa County. This is fantastic.
What if she
Yes,
shows
we
up?
will live stream it. Of course, we will live stream it, chat. Of course, we will.
What if she shows up with a baby bump? That'd be great. Another hearing where she has a bump.
Considering we know how small she is now, it would be incredibly odd and awkward.
Yeah, that would be even. Yeah, she's.
Yeah, maybe they're just getting to all this because the Daybell trial's finally over. Who knows? Or well, the first one is. They still have to do the second one, right? They're very busy down there in Arizona.
I've missed fake Laura Owens today. Chat, where's fake Laura Owens, and why isn't she here?
Fake Laura Owens was in Omar's chat last night.
I know, and I was excited to see her today, and she's not here. I'm very upset about it.
Yeah.
So
you don't think there's any? I mean, I don't think there's any chance she admits to all of it. But do you think that there's any chance, like if you're her defense attorney? I think I heard Omar say this. You were on with Omar last night, right, Bruce?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so
Brad and I were.
Yeah. I thought I heard Omar say this, where it's just like, look, I think her best plan of action here is she's never going to admit 100% lied about everything, but be remorseful. Just lay it out there that even make a bad time in my life. My sister had just had a baby. I did some things that I shouldn't have done, and kind of leave it vague. But fighting this and just continuing this, perpetuate this lie is not the right way to go. And it seems like it's what she probably will do.
There's various things that they could impose if she does plea, which we imagine there's going to be a public statement, at least during the plea hearing, saying that she was that she did all of this because of poor mental state and all this other stuff. But like I said last night, the biggest blocker for that is her own ego, and the idea that she's her worst enemy on this, and she's not going to want to fight it because she is so ingrained on keeping this narrative that she fought literally the internet to try and keep this story on her side, and she couldn't.
Yeah. And she's just never given in at any point to say that my mental health wasn't great and maybe I was in a state of mind that I shouldn't have been in. It has been balls to the wall from the get-go. I'm the victim here. He's the aggressor, and she's never given in on anything. So why would she now? She's dug in too far.
Even when she tried the I have autism excuse, I was like, oh, here we go. Finally, she's going to take some responsibility for doing this. Like, here's the reason why I did what I did. Here's why I lied.
No.
Nope.
It's not about
at all.
It's not about responsibility. It's not about the facts. It's not about the truth. With these sort of cluster B adjacent personality disorders, there's this hero victim complex, and you can see it very clearly here. She's either the hero doing her podcast, rescuing dogs, riding horses, or she's the victim being abused, going through this, being abused by the internet or by the courts. And I don't think she's going to get out of that mode. She's already fired lawyers in the paternity case that told her to just, cut a deal or make an admission and move on. I don't see any evidence that she's going to suddenly cop to a plea or take any responsibility.
Yeah. Would be very surprising based on how far she has dug her heels in on this. It's just been 2 years of doubling, tripling, quadrupling down. Now, this is the first time she's actually seeing some consequences for her actions. So maybe, I mean, I'm not giving it, I don't even know what the percentage is, less than 50%, but maybe now for the first time, because she has actually been charged with something versus the only thing that she's been charged with is being guilty in the court of public opinion for the last, year and a half. And we all ended up being right. But now she's got charges against her. So could these charges against her now make her go, okay, I was in a bad state of mind, and just be remorseful?
No chance.
Something.
None. No chance. Zero chance.
Yeah.
Zero chance, Steve. I don't see it happening. She lives in a non-reality, right?
Yeah.
She lives in an alternative reality than the rest of us. And it doesn't help that her attorney, Baby Jingy, has been telling her from day one, this will never go to prosecution.
court, yeah,
Nobody gets prosecuted for perjury. And in a way, he was right. That's true. Hardly anybody ever does. But this is a unique case with unique circumstances. And she fucked around. It's find out time.
Yeah.
And I don't think she has anyone giving her good advice. If she gets a good criminal attorney, they will say to her, you have to plead like that. And I don't think that this is why I say
fire them.
I see this ending in her in a box fort defending herself.
But she doesn't have any money. So how does she even get it? How does it work with getting a defense attorney for this if she goes to trial? She's
entitled to a public defender if she can qualify for it.
Until you run out of them like Sarah Boone.
Well, that's the thing is I was trying to get into this with Omar last night was that in order to qualify for a public defender, you have to provide basically your income and assets, and the state already knows what her financials are. I'm almost positive they've subpoenaed all the bank records and whatnot. They know exactly what her financial situation is. But in submitting to the court, they have to look at it and say, well, does this person have money? And a part of that calculation is going to be, well, how are you paying for your house? How are you paying for your food? Because in trying to understand where your income is, you can't just say, well, I have no income. And it's like, well, then how are you eating? How do you live?
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to be able to take her parents' income into consideration, though, I don't think, because she is an adult. She has some assets, like she has that rental house that I believe is in her name. That's not in her name.
She got removed from Lizmax Investments, or no, it wasn't Lizmax. She got removed from that as of April, and they backdated it to July of last year.
Oh, okay.
So
it's possible that she will qualify because she doesn't have anything in her name. That's possible because they won't be able to dig into her parents' finances, I don't think.
But I think they will, because by virtue of saying, well, you're a dependent of your parents, you're living on their property, your food might be covered by them. So if all of this stuff is being provided by your parents, then your parents' income or assets are going to be a part of that calculation. And if
that could be interesting.
Because all of their, if they're providing everything for her and the farm is the only source of income that they have, then that has to be put into play. And they have to look at that and say, okay, well, not only do they have this, she just raised $150,000 from GoFundMe, supposedly for her dad's medical bills.
Yeah, that's true. They did.
So is anything outside of the press release yesterday, is there going to be some sort of like mini press conference from the investigators? Do they come out and say like, this is what we found, or that we don't hear that stuff till trial?
They might. It's usually
like it's seen behind a podium in Maricopa County in front of the court.
It's unusual unless, like Rachel said. Well, Rachel Mitchell did say that she gets emails about this every day. It is possible that she would allow a press conference to give some information about it to stop some of that, to stop some of the public inquiry that's constantly bothering her. But it would be kind of unusual because generally speaking, prosecutors keep it very tight to the vest. They're not supposed to speak outside of court, really. And this hasn't really hit that national level yet. Although with the news coverage right now, I mean, I'm pretty excited. Independent, we got San Francisco Chronicle, we got Fox, we got NBC now, national NBC. So maybe, but that would be up to the prosecutor, and it depends on how they run their office.
And they wouldn't reveal any major details other than just to say like we have uncovered enough to where we feel confident in going forward with our charges here.
Well, that's what the purpose of the grand jury is for, is they're going through the evidence. They're saying there is a more likely than not that you have all of the evidence that's going to be necessary to obtain a criminal conviction.
Okay.
Right. I think that the closest thing we're going to get to more information, Steve, is going to be the warrant for the search. I think it's very possible that will be available through FOIA. I'm going to put it in. I just don't know which agency did it. Was it the Maricopa County Sheriff? Probably. I'm assuming their investigators is the sheriff's office and not the police department. So I'm going to try that first. I'm going to try getting the warrant, not the arrest warrant, but the warrant for the search, which would give us more information about what were they looking for, what was recovered. But there won't be much information on it other than the date that the raid happened, what they were looking for, and what was taken. It won't be anything about what was specifically found unless it was something outside of an electronic device that could be listed.
That,
right.
If she had clippings of sonograms on a table that she was, putting on a
copying and pasting.
Yeah.
If she had a shrine, for instance,
scrapbook season, kids.
Clayton. Yeah. If she had a Clayton shrine, that would maybe be photographed and taken into evidence, that sort of thing. But so we'll get.
You said this raid.
A moon bump. If there was a moon bump taken,
they found it in her closet, like hidden, buried in her closet under some things.
Yes.
You said that this raid happened. You think end of April? So end of April was a week ago. I mean, we're only May 7th. So within the last couple of weeks, the end of the raid happened. So yeah, I didn't realize that stuff you could actually get online of what they, like you said, not what they found, but things that were recovered, right?
Yeah,
not
we
details.
should be able to see the judge's order. We should be able to see a signed judge's order and whatever the police report was in executing that warrant.
Yeah, the inventory of what was collected.
Yep, that's what I'm going to look for next.
Be hilarious if she was stupid enough to keep that baby bump like behind her bedroom door, in a closet, or in a drawer, or something, and all of a sudden they pull this out. I was like, "What is this?" Oh, okay.
Well, also, and there should be body cam footage from the Maricopa sheriffs who went in there. Now, would they release it now? Probably not. But at some point, even after like a sentencing or trial, we should be able to get that.
There's requests for body cam footage that we're still waiting on. So,
well, I was told it was going to be 2 years.
Wow. And
I still haven't heard any updates from that. We're at a full year now from when I requested it, so I kind of gave up on that. But that was through the police.
Yeah,
the sheriff might have a different. Yeah, the sheriff might have a different timeline on that. All right, with that, you guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I got to go through super chats. There's a lot of them. If you guys want to stick around for that, you are certainly welcome. But if you have other things to do, thank you so much for being here.
No problem.
And make sure you go and subscribe to Reality Steve, because he's got that big live stream with Rachel Juarez tonight. And that's going to be very interesting. She's a judge. She's going to have a lot of legal insight on this. Make sure you're subscribed over there on Reality Steve. Mods, if you can drop his link in the chat, and also Bruce from Oregon, drop his link as well. And IT Goatee Brad, definitely subscribe to these guys. They're a lot of fun. And thanks for coming by, you guys.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. 7:00 tonight on my YouTube channel. Around there, 7:00.
Is that Eastern? Yeah, Eastern time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We have to wait till she gets back from filming, but she says she's usually back in her place by 7-ish. So.
Well, sounds good.
Yep. All right. Thanks, you guys.
All right, guys. Are you sticking around for the super chats?
Again.
Cool. All right. We got Razilla's Realm. Thanks for the 2. Do you have James Earl Jones' voice? No, I don't. Although we could probably do. Although I think there was some lawsuit about using James Earl Jones's voice. So is that a trick question?
Yes.
Maybe we could just make Brad read things.
Somebody or there's a company that is now taking over celebrities who have passed and using their likenesses in AI and like CGI in order to keep their legacy going. So they would own the rights to generated audio using their impressions of their voice.
That seems unfair. Slug Entertainment, thanks for the 2. Grandma is back on her nonsense chat. Stop calling me Grandma. Wendy A, thanks for the 2. Can we see body cam of the arrest? We hope so. There won't be an arrest. She will turn herself in to be booked at her arraignment. Chris Jenner, thanks for the 5. I hope she pleads not guilty so I have an excuse to drag my innocent boyfriend to Arizona again. Yes, well, he seemed to enjoy it last time, though, Chris. So I think he liked it. He liked us. We made friends, and he seemed a little confused. You seemed a little confused as to why he was there, but tell him we're happy to have him as part of the 20%. My audience is 20% male. And here's to all you guys, you 20% hanging in there with all this estrogen. It's great that you're here. Lorraine Lamore, member for 3 months. You got the gift I sent you in Tug. Happy birthday, Megan. Had trouble keeping the secret. Thanks for the legal education and humor. You're the best. Well, thank you, Lorraine. I surely appreciate your thinking of me. Wendy Bender, thanks for the 5. Love the blonde fox mother. Thank you very much. Skiffer Trucking, thanks for the 5. Is it just me, or does the fox mother talking nice with a Bruce seem weird to anyone else? Hey, this is the good Bruce. This is the Bruce who was here before the bad Bruce. So that other Bruce sullied his name, which is why we call him BBB, and we try not to call him Bruce. There is only one Bruce. There's only one Bruce, Bruce the Moose, and he's here tonight. And we appreciate that. And Skipper of Veteran Nation, thanks for the 2. I still think I can fix her.
No,
no, you cannot. I promise you this one is unfixable. Rozilla's Realm, thanks for the 2. Say goodbye to Rule 26. Oh, boy.
Say Rule 26 one more time, motherfucker.
We got to get Samuel L. Jackson's voice on the super tips. That would be funny. Liz Bird, thanks for the 50. Been a long time coming. After 3 years of fighting, I finally got some of my back pay. Now signed up as a member, and here's to catching a live the first time in forever. Celebrations all around. Congratulations, Liz. Timmy the Dog 5, thanks for the $10 super sticker. Dave appreciates that. I'm going to read Dave's too, because those didn't get read out. Ginver, thanks for the 5. Will she auction the baby bump to help pay her costs? That's a really good idea. She could go on Whatnot.
not if it's an evidence locker.
That's true. Well, she could buy a fake one, like another one, and just pretend like it was the one she used. Kim Dodds, member for 5 months. Cheers to Jeff. Great work. Dave, Megan, Bruce, Lauren, and Jeff. It was cold enough tonight to wear my Legal Vices hoodie. It's so warm. It is. That is the cuddliest hoodie I've ever owned. If you guys haven't ordered your Legal Vices hoodie, you need to do it. The store is still open, and the proceeds go to his family. So I believe that it stays up forever, which is great, because I'm going to want more of those. When one wears out, I'm going to need another one. Wender Bender, thanks for the 5. In that picture, if she was that pregnant, where are your milk makers? We had this entire conversation. The boobs never changed. It was the first telltale sign. Lisa B, thanks for the 5. Have a Starbucks, Dave. Congrats. And Abacus Flinch, thanks for the 10. Celebrite will catch everything you're doing, unless you're Jen McCabe. True. Also true. Chappie, as a proud member, here it is, of Megan's 20% male audience, I have no idea how I got so invested in this story, but I am. Congrats, Megan, Dave, Bruce, and most importantly, Clayton. Yeah, Clayton, man, that poor guy, he's been through it, hasn't he? Honey, 2800, thanks for the 2. Laura is a sociopath narcissist with extra cheese. Allegedly. We don't know. Liz Bird, thanks for the 10. I got my autism diagnosis in October. Next month, ADHD assessments. What she is doing is not because she's neurodiverse. I told Dave on the same day, it's no excuse. You're right, Liz, and the courts don't recognize it as an excuse either. MG Law, you bad man. We love Megan's super tips. Dan Davis, thanks for the 2. That's what we're going to have to call him here. Obviously, go to Super Tits and send one. Send Super Tits. Dan Davis, thanks for the 2. Super Tits. She wanted Clayton to pay with her panty hamster. Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Chris Jenner, thanks for the 5. I hope she pleads not guilty. Oh, we just read this one. I don't know how I missed it. So I can drag my innocent boyfriend to Arizona again. And Sarah A, thanks for the Canadian 7. Love your hair, Megan. Well, thank you. It was 4 hours in the chair for this hair. 4 hours. But I do like it. I like how it came out. It is a lot. Yeah. But that's what it takes to get it done right. Debbie, thanks for the 5. Megan, your hair is over the roof. Fabulous. I love it.
I have anxiety over the roof.
Thank you very much. And Donna Shepard, member for 4 months. I was so happy to hear the breaking news last night on the live. Don't forget to take your holy water with you to the courthouse when you go to watch her trial. Right. Next time I'll be prepared for that hex jewelry that she wears, trying to suck our souls out of our bodies or whatever it is she was doing. Right. I've got one right here. It has dirt in it from the Holy Land. So perhaps this will be a good talisman to ward off the evil.
Some holy water.
Some holy water, yes. We could go in and bless the courtroom beforehand. Oh my goodness. Where am I at? Here it is. Double Karma, thanks for the 10 pounds. Congrats, Clayton Echard. Now, please send your team over to JH. Jeremy Hales needs all the help he can get. It's true. It's true. He's in a battle for his life. Ian Thomas gifted 5 Megan Fox memberships. Thank you. Welcome to the Fox Den. All 5 of you. Now that you're here, unfortunately, you've joined a gang. I don't know if you knew that, but you have joined a cartel of sorts. It's like the mafia. You can't get out. And you must do everything I tell you to do. Yeah. So send super tips or super tits, whichever one you prefer. All right. Let's see. Joanne, thanks for the 5. She effed with the wrong man. Wait, no, she didn't. Liz Shark, thanks for the 15. So as she pleads guilty, takes a plea deal, will we ever see evidence given to the grand jury? Probably not. I'm not sure.
It depends on if it's sealed and deferred, because they could seal and defer it. If she just takes a straight plea that doesn't become sealed, then we'll most likely be able to get it.
Also, keep in mind that the bad news for her might not be over, because the civil lawsuits may begin. And if civil lawsuits are filed against her, that evidence becomes something that's subpoenable, I believe, by the people suing her. Right? So we may see it after all.
Jesus. We have updates.
Oh boy. What?
Present.
Are you
share
sure it's
screen.
not a
Can't
false
handle all
alarm?
these updates.
Okay, Brad says we have updates. Oh boy.
So we have the original arraignment hearing, which we've already seen. Now we have 1, 2, 3 pretrial conferences
we have a trial
and trial date.
Oh my God, it's in October of this year. It's going to get, guys, it's going to get pushed out. It's going to get pushed out. They're not going to push this to trial in October. The very first thing that any attorney representing her is going to do is file for a delay. This is just the first date. If you recall, Brian Kohberger's trial was set for October of last year, and we are now another full year beyond that, because that's just how they roll.
So
they will set a speedy trial, but she will waive speedy. She will push that out. I'm still saying a year to 15 months.
So they added all of the counts to the docket, and we're still waiting on a attorney to file
for her.
Mm-hmm. But
so we have. So what's the first? Zoom in a little bit. I'm having trouble seeing because my screen is too small. All right. So the arraignment is on the 29th. Then we have the initial pretrial conference in July, comprehensive pretrial conference in August, and then the pretrial conference in October, and then allegedly a trial. But yeah, don't expect that to actually happen. It is not going to move that fast. No way.
But this docket's getting updated pretty quickly.
It is. It is. But yeah, don't worry. Don't buy your plane tickets yet. These dates will change. It will change. And my best guess is about this time next year. That's when I think it's going to be happening. All right. Where was I? Oh no, it threw me all the way up to the top of the super chats. I lost my place. That's all right. I know I was right around here. 5 memberships. We got that.
Autism diagnosis, and yeah.
Liz Bird, thanks for the 2. The OOP is a benefit. The order of protection against him. That's an interesting way to look at it. It is a benefit because she was allowed to use that then as a weapon against him, wasn't she?
We'll have to see about what the legal definition of benefit is, because if it's
right,
if it's pecuniary gain or something like that.
Right. Cassie, thanks for the Canadian 5. I hope Laura turns on Dingus to have him charged with suborning perjury. Well, even if she did, I mean, the chances of him getting anything other than a slap on the wrist for that are pretty low. But What he is facing is disciplinary hearing, I think. I mean, I don't know if they've set a hearing, but they haven't said anything yet about the judge's bar complaint against him. And that's pretty serious. So I'm waiting to hear. That's going to be the next shoe to drop. Is he going to a hearing?
Still active.
It is still active, which means they aren't done with him yet. We'll see. PNW Mama Bear, thanks for the 5. Jingris account going dark very soon, I bet. It's already, he's very quiet over there. He hasn't said anything. Liz Shark, thanks for the 5. Megan, did you ever get a response on your request to see any ex parte emails between Laura and Judge Judy? No, I did not. They never responded. So Skipper Trucking, thanks for the 2. Tattoo idea, panty hamster wearing an umbrella mask. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh God, you guys with the panty hamsters. All right, I'm checking the super tips. It looks like we are finished over there. That was a lot of fun. Thank you for taking part in the super tips, by the way. That's a lot of fun, and it also gives the creators a bigger cut of the super chat, which is great. Because YouTube takes 30 or 40%, but super tips only takes 10. And it supports another creator, Patrick Melton, who has started the company. Patrick Melton has a YouTube channel called Nobody Likes Onions. And he had this brilliant idea to do super tips. And I really have, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I love my dad's voice. My dad's voice is so freaking good. Let me play you the one. Oh my God, it's so good. Where is it? I have his voice in here. I think it fell off the thing. We've had so many that I can't find my sample voices, but I just love my dad's voice. It came out so good. Anyway, so that's it for today. Let me double check Cash App and Venmo just in case, even though I didn't have it running across the bottom of the screen. Sometimes some of you prefer that, and I want to make sure I don't miss any of you. What do you guys have coming up recent? Are you doing anything tonight? Any streaming tonight or anything?
No streaming recently, but we are monitoring a SpaceX launch for the week of the 19th. So
cool. You love those SpaceX launches. I know. It's a lot of fun. Are you going to be streaming it?
Hopefully.
Cool. What about you, Bruce? You going anywhere? Are you going to be anywhere?
I'm packing up the house. I mean,
when are you getting on the road?
I don't know. I got to sell the house first, but it's soon.
Oh, you have to sell. Okay.
Pretty soon.
Right. And then are you gonna share are you gonna live stream from the road? Do we get to see these adventures of Bruce the Moose on the run what are we calling it?
Yeah, Moose on the Loose. I mean, if anything interesting happens, I'll try to give some updates. You know.
Are you coming to Vegas?
No.
Vegas, baby.
No.
Oh, come on.
I can't come to Vegas.
I don't even
either.
Like if I got a house sitter, I don't even have a bed for them to sleep on. Like I can't. I got to move.
Well, all right. You're not mobile yet, but maybe by next summer you will be. So you'll be able to just head to Vegas, just truck on down there, and
Or this criminal trial. Yeah.
I wasn't invited, so I wasn't going to force myself in. And then,
of course, you're invited. Everybody's invited to Steve's party.
I was not invited. So,
but everybody's invited. It's his birthday. Anybody can go. You can go. It's his birthday.
But he has a list of people because he can only fit so many people into the room. So, and then before we really figured that out, another event came on that weekend. So my wife and I will be doing that.
Oh, I see. You're doing something else anyway.
Well, I'm sure that we will have lots of fun and we will miss you. So I will live stream somewhere from there, and we'll hook up so you can see it. I'll get you on FaceTime. How's that?
But I'm going to be doing sumo, sushi, and sake. So.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Actually. Okay, I'm going to leave you guys with a song you haven't heard for a long time. I'm going to let the chat decide. Would you like to hear Having the Babies or Minor Perjury? I know how this is going to go. I know how this is going to go. Chat, you tell me. Having the Babies or Minor Perjury? There's a little delay. We have to wait for the chat. I'm just going to get the one queued up that I think they're going to. I know the one they're going to choose. I don't even know why I asked. I should just play it.
Minor.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. Of course.
One day.
All right.
Minor perjury.
All right, everybody. Take care. We will see you again soon. I'll be on live tonight on my channel at 8 p.m. with Dad Umbrella Guy. I'm sure we'll be talking Hales, and I'll see you then. Bye, guys.
Or to tell the truth, oh yes I did. I raised my hand and nodded my head. Nothing but the truth, so help me God. I swore on the Bible, and Jingris gave me the nod. Then I spun a tale so wild, no one could believe. Fake scans only Adobe could achieve. Story keeps changing, sonograms rearranging, and judges ain't paying attention to anything. What do you mean it's a felony? It's just a little minor perjury. When your twins disappear, it's not an emergency. It's just a little minor perjury. It's just a little minor perjury. It's just a little minor perjury. Oh, oh, napkin lady is a cog in my wheel. Her notemaid got me a TEDx spiel. Now my lies are repeated everywhere, doing interviews with lead press on head. How did she hear us through all that noise? Why do you ask? Everybody knows it's the bad boys. They're the ones at fault, it's not me. I just committed a little minor perjury. Why didn't you just take me? Instead you made me commit minor perjury. Why are you coming at me? It's only a little minor perjury. It clearly is Survivor, and I paid for it on Fiverr. Why couldn't you just take me? Instead you made me commit minor perjury. It's all you coming at me. It's only a little minor perjury. I'm clearly a survivor, and I paid for it on Fiverr. Why couldn't you just date me? Instead you made me commit. Why are you coming at me? It's only a little minor perjury. Oh yeah, I'm not going to jail. There's never gonna be no bail. The system ignores liars like me. It's only a little minor perjury. 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 The system ignores liars like me. It's only a little minor perjury. It's only a little minor perjury. Oh, I'm not going to jail. There's never gonna be no bail. This system ignores liars like me. It's only a little minor perjury. It's only a little minor perjury.